Welcome back, UniVersus players. Sorry for the small hiccups, but like we promised, we are here with some amazing top four action. Two of the most exciting decks in this tournament are about to face off. And Christopher Bromley, I couldn't be more excited.
You couldn't be more excited? Well,
Could
get
not.
more excited because we got two really good players playing two really cool decks. Can you tell me about them?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Mark Tyner, one of our champ cards, going up against Godzilla, the undefeated George Rangel, throughout this entire weekend. A day oneer trying to take the throne with the day one buff. Got all of the warm-ups in, got all of the practice in through day one. None of the cold, none of the jitters. And he is going to look to put the capstone on this performance with two more match victories.
Yeah, going undefeated over the course of an entire weekend would be, I mean, when's the last time that happened? Kevin Broberg at the first My Hero Worlds?
That's the last one I
Swiss
can
champ
remember
day
for sure.
one,
Yeah.
and then he won all the way through.
I mean, a lot of times the champs have gone undefeated throughout the event, but
they have to on day two at least, right?
Yeah, but we have not had very many 3-day events in UniVersus. And I think that might be the difference is we've had a lot of world championships that were 7 rounds of Swiss and then a top cut, and the top cut was maybe top 8. Yeah. We've had 3 days of action to get to this bracket, and you can see the journey of George Rangel and Justin Birch throughout the bracket. Justin defeating Ezra Miller on the Crystal Lens, a deck that is fairly well suited for the Mark Tyner matchup because you can at least guarantee that you'll check as good as you can with those 6s.
Yeah.
And yet Justin was able to take him down. Then against the Midoriya on the move, which we saw that 0-0 draw in rounds. So I'm wondering, that was one of the longest matches we had again in Top Cut, one of the ones we were waiting for. Yes. And I'm very curious. I wish we could have got them on stream just so I would know exactly how it ended, what the game count was, but maybe we'll get that information in a winner's interview or something like that. And then, of course, George Rangel taking it over Aiden W., who finally took an L, so I guess we have to call him Aiden L again.
Man, you can be Lecoulier again.
Yeah, but that Zeke Beast Titan deck, always an enigma for me. Always something that I'm surprised at how well it does, but Aiden has been playing it non-stop.
That's his thing.
And making top 8 at Worlds, absolutely a fantastic run. However, here we are, George Rangel versus Justin Birch, Godzilla King of the Monsters versus Mark Tyner, and this is what they're playing for here in top 4. This is what the players have already won. Yeah, this is what the players have already won.
Yeah.
And this is the Godzilla Reign of Kaiju pre-release that we've had here. March 6th, your pre-release at your local store.
Yep.
March 13th, the official release.
Yep. And here are chromes you get to take a look at. King Ghidorah and Space Godzilla. These colors have got to go nuts in person.
I love the gradient effect on the King Ghidorah. That looks absolutely fantastic. Of course, the gold kanji, super awesome. And Space Godzilla, my color scheme, purple and pink. Love to see it. These cards are absolutely beautiful. Even better in person. Yeah. And I can't wait for you all to open them. But I think production's trying to get us to the gameplay.
So George has been playing against a lot of aggro decks. He did beat one Midoriya on the way there, right? In TC, who also made it into top 8. But here we're going to be playing against a true control deck, right? Not a combo deck, a true control deck. Drew with Mark Tyner playing Mark Tyner, so we haven't been tested against this matchup just yet.
And we
this is Justin Birch. We were racing through.
I was about to say Justin has not played a Godzilla on this graphic yet, so
not yet.
This might be new waters. He might not have the reps in. I wonder if that's going to matter that he hasn't had this matchup yet.
Yeah, he's played against a lot of control mirrors, and but he won against one Mikasa. Mikasa is a character who is really stymied by check hacking, though.
Correct, yeah.
And so Godzilla usually has enough check bonuses to get past 1 or 2 of those, but if they're well timed, they could spell doom.
Yeah, but also look at the draws. There's so many draws, and we can't have a draw in top cuts. We have to have a winner.
Also hasn't lost yet.
True, undefeated. Technically,
technically undefeated on his day 2 run. Looking forward to the deck list we saw earlier. This is a squeaky clean, no frills Godzilla deck. Our biggest technology were those 2 dumbfoundeds, right?
Right, yeah.
That we got to build with on.
Oh, we got the 2 fight for truth. Okay.
And then Justin here with nothing but technology, right? Getting to play multiple copies of our unique foundations. The name of the game is going to be whether or not Justin can keep Godzilla from a big board state, and then if George can use his once per game well or kill early. Those are the two parameters for George.
Yeah, and I think one of the smartest things about Justin's build is despite the fact that you can't have two unique assets in play, he's still playing a lot of these strong, unique assets, which will allow him to use them more liberally. You don't have to hold that Ichigaki for the right moment if you're just going to draw another one and build it.
Yeah.
And because the Mark Tyner deck is so good at taking back its turn, getting another turn, extending the game, you are going to be able to rebuild those uniques. However, Godzilla's going to go first.
George's hand is so much bigger than Justin's. It was so funny.
His literal actual human being hands.
He's just a large paw we got over there. I think kind of crucially is that if Justin is able to build out for the first few turns, right, and get some of those backups and assets out, Godzilla doesn't destroy those. So if we we can have those unique cards out, which means that I think Godzilla won't be able to, go for the throat right after a debuild, right?
Yeah, ever since Battle Arena rotated, I don't think we've really seen that play too often. I think exactly one time in the last year of competitive on stream, we've seen the board wipe try to check a 5, No.
I mean, after you build 2, like the follow-up turn.
I see.
Yeah, a lot of times they do try to get some
Yeah,
damage in.
Still tough.
Yeah, what I would like to see actually is a very late Godzilla form if the game does go late.
I kind of think the earlier you pull it off, the less likely he'll have a bunch of backups and a bunch of assets. Because if Justin has no foundations, but he has unique backups or unique assets, he can still play a 7 difficulty attack. However, none of his attacks, I believe, are less than 6 difficulty. I believe Jaw Titan's Bite is the lowest difficulty in the deck.
Jaw Titan's Bite is the lowest.
It's the 6th difficulty.
If we have Attack Titan's Haymaker, though, or not Attack Titan,
the Attack Titan attacks,
then that would
played from the stage be a 5 diff.
Yes.
So there is a world where Justin doesn't take that risk. However, it feels really good to play a 7 difficulty move on no foundations.
Right. Okay, well, so we're going to be going for a build here. This is one of the funny cards for us in this specific matchup. Warped Pleasure can keep us below that threshold where Godzilla can break our board, right? I guess no, because it's 6 or more, it's not 4 or more. Yeah, sorry. I confused it with the character himself who does say
I mean, it helps you kind of get there, but, because Justin can use assets and backups to help pass checks, losing foundation, and even a unique foundation can count as 2 for passing checks. He can play on a smaller foundation board as well, but that's kind of what Godzilla excels at.
He does,
and just a little bit of a precognition. That's also what the Nagoriyuki deck was really good at, who is Justin's teammate, Chris Miner. So Chris Miner maybe already a little tech for that matchup where we have to play around check hacks. But
wow, we drew 3 Kings of Illyrias on turn 1. Okay, George going to be doing a double build here. Was looking for an attack perhaps, but
yeah, and this is probably really smart. Typically you want to have that early aggression, but Justin built nothing but uniques. So Mark Tyner response is active, and you want to have enough foundations to push through it. And I think George has the read that the Mark Tyner deck just isn't that aggressive early.
I mean,
going down to 1 card in hand, getting a 10 build might be exactly what you want, which is very, very different from the normal Godzilla gameplay. If you told me that Godzilla built 5 on turn 2, I would say he's probably having a really bad time. And yet, I bet George feels pretty confident in his board state.
You want to get ahead of Justin here, especially since he double built King of Illyria on turn 1.
Right.
Because if Justin decides to put 2 of those committed foundations into George's hand, you're going to be deal building yourself more than your opponent. So we see here Snap debuilding King of Illyria. But Warped Pleasure, I think it says both players.
Snap committing.
Right?
He didn't debuild it.
Well, but both of these Warp Pleasures are going to mean that 2 of the foundations that George built or had built from last turn are going to be destroyed. And Justin himself is not going to have to destroy any of them because it's players with 6 or more foundations.
Right.
So this is going to be a little bit of a catch-up. I could see 2 foundations debuilt and then King of Illyria putting a 3rd one into
the hand,
into George's hand.
Yeah, we're going to pop the face down, pop the dumbfounded, and now, the finally freeze being used on the rival turn is going to be really big because George is going to have those check bonuses to help fight back against the check hack from Mark Tyner.
Yeah.
And very interesting here. We put a high block back into George's hand.
I don't think he cares. I think he just wanted him to prevent a draw on a following turn.
Yep. So we're going to commit out for this. Again, not really feeling threatened. Justin could play another attack here, but putting up 34 damage would be astronomical, if not actually impossible.
Pretty tough, yeah.
I'm sure someone at home can find the dream sequence, the magical Christmas land. That's one of my favorite things to do, but I'm not sure if that's going to be possible.
Well,
and now
here are some very powerful foundations and assets to build. 2 resets functionally, right? Invincible Iron Body can return an attack to 0 damage. And Godzilla's damage numbers are typically done on play, right?
Right.
With the exception of powerful on.
You can't play the footsies with the enhances. It just happens.
Yeah, it just happens.
Static, which is one of the only drawbacks to it being a continuous ability. Normally that is all upside. They're putting. I almost got them to put the backups in the right place, but production wants them up by the characters.
Yeah, just a differentiator.
They're just not in the stage. It's not where the stage is, bro. It's not where the stage is.
Well, the stage is the whole table because this is top 4.
All right, so hopefully we can see some attacks from Godzilla here. I would be very surprised to see a board wipe. I don't feel like it's a great place to be to put you back.
Not that great, right?
The main thing is if you leave Team Dr. Ichigaki around and you have no foundations to really play around it.
I'm just saying I could see it. I don't agree with it either.
Right, I could see it too. Yeah. Especially if our hand is truly like not even necessarily good foundations to add to the board, and the more foundations we build, the more value Warped Pleasure is going to get. Because if we build 2 and pass, Warped Pleasure is going to destroy 2 on the next turn. So
well, you might be afraid of the double King of Illyrias, right? And the Warped Pleasures.
One of the King of Illyrias is committed.
Right. Well, I'm just saying on the follow-up turn.
Right, on the follow-up,
because that's the time that I would want to use the King of Illyria.
Right.
Is on my offense turn, so I could rebuild them immediately afterwards. And
right.
So,
but you would also have to commit them from George's stage, too.
Yeah, if you're going to hack the check, it'd be the first one, right? Just before we get any check bonuses.
Maybe a little interesting tell here. We didn't commit the Master's Pride, so I don't think we're going to have a way to generate extra momentum on this turn.
Right.
Which is probably going to be pretty rough because not being able to raid that foundation, not being able to get more check bonuses is going to be pretty tough. However, it looks like
damage back to printed.
It looks like we tried to bait out the Team Dr. Ichigaki because Vast Hybrid did not commit the asset immediately.
Right.
Instead, we decided to go for the freeze.
Or maybe we just haven't played with that ability before.
Maybe it's not in the stage, so we forgot that Team Dr. Ichigaki's in play. I'm going to harp on it the whole time. There we go. All right.
Here we go.
There we go, George. Get that committed. Now, look at the stage. It's not that impressive on Mark Tyner's side.
Yeah, I think that, I would feel kind of in danger, to be honest.
Did we deal 1 damage? Oh, no, we dealt 6 to the backup.
Oh, to the backup.
Yeah, so that way we can bank the Vast Hybrid in momentum.
Oh, interesting. So Justin used the moment of normalcy to make it so that the female Titan would still remain.
Would survive, yeah. Because like we talked about earlier, there's no targets for the form. The important thing is it is a unique that is in play for the deck.
Yeah.
And now we're going to get the freeze on Invincible Eye. This is looking pretty good.
Yeah,
I don't think George is going to deal any damage this turn because we do have the +1 high block here. Pretty much an unfailable.
We can get +2 to the check, right? We checked the 4, but we need a 5. So are we going to use Mark Tyner, or are we just going to? I mean, either way, we don't have any more unique foundations, right?
Yeah.
Or cards. Military airship, pretty huge.
Military airship, a big deal here.
5.
There's no Mark Tyner response left available.
Correct.
So airship is a big deal. Only 1 Vast Hybrid made it to momentum though, but that speed could be a big deal. But I gotta feel like that Warped Pleasure is really gonna put a ceiling on the amount of cards that George can try to get ahead by. Luckily, he's got a lot of committed face downs.
Yeah.
So he'll get to keep the face ups, but he might be leaving himself a little open for a big turn from Justin here. Even with 2 frozen foundations, the ability to pass some checks, moving the die off the.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it is at 1 health.
Yeah. It took 6, we're pretty sure.
I think Vast Hybrid's a 6 damage move?
6 damage move, yeah.
Okay,
and he returned it to printed.
Health. Yeah.
All right, so what can we see from the Mark Tyner deck here? We've got all uniques still pretty much in play. So plenty of, okay, we've got the die back on there,
Okay,
making sure.
they found it.
I think they wanted to change the color of the die so it matches
That's
the
important.
health.
Yeah, because green
health.
and purple are make me think of a watermelon. So,
and here is probably the most impressive play from the Mark Tyner deck, at least early turns. Use a unique backup to get +2 to the check to play the female Titan attacks, which can then ready the backup and draw a card, which is absolutely powerful. And it's going to help your turns be super, super smooth, whereas other decks would have to commit a bunch of resources and then still have a use for the backup before the blitz. Mark Tyner makes the sequencing very easy.
Yeah, committing a moment of rest, though, or normalcy, sorry.
Yeah, moment of normalcy.
Because we really valued having our Warped Pleasure and King of Illyria to
debuild.
Yeah, to debuild.
Debuild is the name of the game for this deck. If George can pass his checks, the game plan kind of falls apart, right?
Yeah, we're going to give
-1 to the next check.
Justin's check. Well, because we only have, Mark and the moment of normalcy up right now. Or sorry, of the Warped Pleasure up right now.
So I got to imagine George is going to attempt to block and fail it here, just to get the foundations out of his hand. Right. And I mean, it's so interesting because, like you said, you want to stay ahead of the Mark Tyner deck, and that's what George is doing. And look at Justin's stage. He's got one ready foundation. Yes, he can commit backup the backup to get +2 to his check, which is why I believe George went for the -1 to the next check to kind of force him to build out here. And the longer it takes Justin to deal meaningful damage, the more turns George is going to have to build up and build up.
Make no momentum. And having to commit our last foundation. We still have the unique to pump. With Mark Tyner.
The vendor room will be closing at 5.
So this one's on a 4, check a 4.
Yeah, checks a 4. I mean, 4 is the lowest we can check in the deck.
Yep, this one's on a 5, check a 4. Gonna choose.
I mean, you may as well use the unique. We're gonna lose it anyway, right? Okay, all right.
Well, I don't think he wants to commit Team Dr. Ichigaki to pass the check. Oh, he wanted the momentum.
It dealt damage. Yeah, because the momentum is going to be used for condescending.
Yep.
Yeah.
So to make sure he had enough uniques on the next turn, he had to fail that one, which, I mean, you commit a unique for a unique. I don't know. I'm with you. I think you pass it.
Yeah.
Commit the female Titan, pass the check. You replace it with a unique foundation that is theoretically better resources. So
I guess not.
And it denies Godzilla momentum. I'm with you, partner. I think we passed that one.
Yeah, I guess having the momentum for condescending explanation was just he felt it was that important.
Yeah, Blue Flame Torment coming down. This is a great one to play into Mark Tyner because not only is Godzilla going to help fight against the check bonus, but Blue Flame Torment is going to help fight against the check bonus. And, it's becoming so much more clear to me why Godzilla is still as potent as it is in the format. We saw him go away for a little bit, but with the introduction of this Mark Tyner deck, is there a better character for fighting against the check hex than Godzilla?
Yeah, I think
spend a momentum versus commit a card. I mean, I'd rather spend a momentum than commit a card.
Maybe Ryu with repeated 100% smashes if that 10 damage could
because you can say you can't play the ability.
You're not allowed to do the thing.
Right. Yeah, if they make you commit 2 to play repeated, but you ready one, that's not a big deal.
It's definitely not as easily, right? They both require a momentum. Right.
Probably, yeah.
And Mark
Ryu
can also interact with the damage.
Yeah. So we're gonna see the condescending come out immediately. However, we have another Blue Flame Torment. We check a 6 on it.
And we can actually still pick up the first one with
the military airship. Yep.
Gonna be hacking the check anyway and using
and then we're gonna fill with doubt.
Oh my gosh. Fill with doubt, moment of rest, all sorts of things that say, hey, I'm not fighting. I'm doing something else. Card is sealed.
Which is unfortunate. However, probably not the biggest deal in the world yet.
I think we're going to be taking 8 from this, right? I can't imagine a world where we'll be able to. I guess we could still block it, actually. +2 our check to block.
But then you're no longer preventing George from passing checks, and that's pretty scary.
Oh, no. I think we've used both, actually.
Oh, we hacked both of these?
So
yeah, you're right. We hacked both. So, Mark Tyner effectively blank until we take damage.
And I like that George is using the monster aggression to destroy foundations because we're going to lose them with Warp Pleasure anyway.
Yes, beautiful sequencing.
Yeah, playing aggro, like a deck as tight and aggressive as this one into a control pile is very hard.
Yeah.
And George has already lost one regional this year to a control deck that was doing something similar, right?
George using the +2 speed on the Vast Hybrid here, taking absolutely no chances that this gets blocked by a +1.
Yeah, take the damage where you can,
Yeah, we see the blue flame coming back into the hand. We have +2 to our next check.
Deflect
3. All right, that's not a bad move.
No.
Underrated keyword. I would like to see more deflect. We got a little bit in Godzilla. I'd like to see some more.
I think the one thing that I don't like about deflect is they can't stack them.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you don't have to make a check. That's been the main complaint I hear is you don't. Have to pass
I think that's
check.
awesome because that makes it more exciting.
Yeah,
it means that if you're completely tapped out or in a situation like
right.
this, right, that you can't get there.
Right.
Yeah, it's more exciting to me.
Now, one thing that is pretty weak about Blue Flame Torment is Mark Tyner's probably not going to fail to check too often. However, we did check a 4 there, which means we'd have to commit out if we wanted to pass it. Would you commit the King of Illyria here to pass this check?
We're out of Mark Tyner responses, right?
Yeah, and we do still have the Team Doctor Ichigaki, though.
Yeah.
So we do have a big cancel for something really important, but a lot of the enhances on the Godzilla attacks aren't as important as Godzilla's abilities itself.
Well, we saved the damage, right?
You save one damage and +1 to a check by committing a foundation here.
I think it would be worth it, but
it really depends on if you can block, right? If you can block with a 1 low and then you check a 4 and still pass it, that's better in my opinion.
This many things in our card pool, I can't imagine.
Oh yeah, it's true. We do have 2 cards in the card pool. You're right.
All right, walk the dogging is about to commence.
Yep, on a 6, passes easily. Overpassed it, in fact. We have the stun one and Mark.
There's enough momentum. I wonder why we just.
We might not have the health total exactly correct.
Oh, okay.
Because that one was 9 with the 1 momentum
would have been
is 12.
Right. Yeah, we might have missed a burn somewhere.
Might have missed like a damage pump or something.
But going to game 2.
Yeah, the health pad is off the screen for us, so we just got what protection is marking down. And yeah, we got Mark Tyner at 14. Maybe he showed him another attack. We just didn't see it. Who knows?
It might have been. There's a lot of it. So let's look at the sideboards here. For Justin, we've got another attack, Titan attacks, Great Bucklers, Condescending Explanations, Invincible Body, and 2 more Runaways. Which of these do you think would be the difference makers?
I think Runaway could be a big difference maker.
Okay. Yeah, Runaway very good into matchups like this.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the George would have to side in the incredible display, so you'd have to have the read on the sideboarding matchup, which open deck list theoretically you should have access.
I think this is a deck that has a lot of responses, right?
Yeah.
So I would see those. I would guarantee those are going to come in. But yeah, I think it's the Invincible Body comes in. I think the Great Bucklers probably not, right? But Invincible Body.
Oh, go ahead.
You go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm more focused on George's sideboard because I think he has a lot more interaction that is super important for this matchup.
Hand?
Yeah, Scanlan's hand, I need it. I need it, brother. The 2 difficulty move that punishes you for blocking and commits Mark Tyner at the start of the turn. I need to see this come in. I need to see this be an impact, even if it's just in game 3. I need George to recognize that Scanlan's hand makes his life so much easier.
Yeah, if you the thing is, as a 6-hander, right, it can feel a little rough to be playing, to adding another set of actions to your deck.
And it's progressive in the card pool. Scanlan's hand is really good when you have less hand size than your opponent.
Right.
Because then you can build it down and get it out of the card pool. However, I also like the fact that the card pool response is repeatable.
Yeah.
If you don't build it down every time your rival blocks, you can respond for +3 damage. And in a pinch, it's also -3 damage on a block.
If you're blocking.
And one thing a lot of people don't realize is you can block with Scanlan's hand and immediately respond with it. It counts itself as a card, as a block being played.
That's interesting. Okay, well, but Justin's going to be going first, right? Assuredly going to be getting a large build because
I imagine this will be a very different game.
Yeah. Yeah, because again, right, even if George gets a double build, Justin will be able to be on the attack, right? Instead of being on the back foot, pulling back. And I think, honestly, I think that the game went pretty well as it could for Justin, right? He had he had a couple of very good unique foundations, right? He had double King of Illyria, double Warped Pleasure, right, on board, which was stimmying how many foundations George could get out, but committing Moment of Normalcy, right? Preferring to keep his backups, building 2 assets and a foundation, not as huge for this character specifically, because
but
we can
2 assets that cancel enhances.
Yeah, you don't want to commit those to pass checks.
Yeah, and so we saw the Team Dr. Ichigaki on turn 1 last game, but Justin never used it.
Yeah.
There was so many things to cancel. What was he waiting for?
Can't cancel powerful.
You can't cancel powerful. That's true. But you got to use it before you lose it, Bromley. And in this case, he didn't use it before he lost the game.
Sometimes, Sam.
You love it. You're going to miss it. You're going to be sitting at home watching regionals, me and Barrett flipping our hair up, and you're going to miss it.
Nah, I'll drink a cold one, and I'll be like, damn, those guys are silly.
Yeah, you and Phil will be like, look at those nerds.
Look at those bozos. Yeah, okay, so predictably going to be attacking with female Titan attacks. The one complaint I have about this deck is that it has no way to pick up a punch or kick.
That was my takeaway earlier. I was like, really? No targets?
None. 0 targets.
Granted, if you're committed to the 4-check idea, what targets would you have? But
this is what I like to see into decks like this, by the way, where you're just like, I'm full building. You can't resolve more than 1 attack anyway. And I know the zones, right?
This is exactly what kept decks like Eraserhead and Rodan down for so long, is because even if you have to commit all the way out to block 1 move, as long as you block 1 move a turn, they don't get anywhere.
They can't kill you.
They can't threaten you. To deal meaningful damage, they would have to overextend.
Yeah.
And so George, it's crazy to think about his journey here, because he spent so much of his time not playing as a competitive player. He spent so much of his time as a community member, judging, working events. He's worked some of my community events. Right. I always love having George around. And yet he realized, I'm giving people these deck lists. I'm seeing them perform. Right. And he wanted a piece of the action. And I mean, what a glow up. What an amazing story to go from being the guy who's always there to help your event run smooth, to pitch in and be a judge and make sure these events can even happen. And now he is, maybe selfishly a little bit, correctly, started to invest in himself and take that chance. And man, has he had an insane run.
Yeah, I mean, second place at a regional. I think also top 8 at a different regional this year. And getting to top 4 at least at Worlds, up a game in top 4 at the World Championship.
Coming from day 1, didn't play enough to qualify for day 2 because he was judging so much. Right. And then he played once in Atlanta and got a taste for it, Second. And he's been engineering these really, really, I mean, George beat me. He eliminated me in Atlanta, and it was, he had it. Yeah. He played it perfectly. And I had a very crucial decision to make. I made the wrong decision. I played bad. I made a mistake, and he absolutely punched me. He looked at me and said, sorry, man, I'm killing you now because I didn't pick up a field without with a military airship because I felt like I was safe. But George has made some of the best aggro decks I've ever seen in this game.
Yeah, very tight, efficient list. Hitting King of Illyria instead of Condescending Explanation because we don't have any momentum at the moment. So Condescending Explanation is going to be blank. Freezing King of Illyria is going to kind of put a damper on the churn.
No, I think Illyria was used for the check hack because now we're committing.
Okay.
Condescending.
Yeah. All right.
Condescending is getting frozen for sure.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because he might hit him next turn. He might play a big move.
Yeah.
Probably not with this board state and the fact that the Mark Tyner deck refuses to engage with like anything meaningful. But
how do you feel about this? Do you like this Mark Tyner deck, Sam?
I love slow, solly control decks. I don't know what you mean.
I can't get a read on how you feel about this play style. You're such an enigma.
Look, I was telling some of the designers, if I designed a check hack for my champ card, I would want it to end the turn. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
I think it's just
4 years.
I think it's I think it's one of those things where I'm a little surprised it's made it this far.
Sure.
Because so many of the other decks in the format are so good at punishing this play style.
Yeah.
And we saw versus the Midoriya list, versus the Midoriya matchup, it really had no game plan into anyone willing to be more defensive. So I feel like he's just been preying on these aggro decks who don't understand the necessity to get ahead on build like George did, to pick your spots when you did. And now we're seeing maybe a level of inconsistency that he hasn't dealt with before. These early turns have been really, really clunky for the deck, and I imagine that hasn't been the case for him through most of this tournament.
Getting back to the game, we had +2 to our check, and check to 6. So Justin said, I don't think I'm going to be responding there, Chief. Going to be using a runaway, okay. Using Mark Tyner response for the second time. Going to be taking 6, which is less than 9.
Losing 6 technically, not taking it, but
sure,
yeah. And now we're going to add the top card of our discard pile to our card pool. Unfortunately, Dumbfounded ignores progressive difficulty.
But it doesn't make other things.
Yeah, but it does count towards progressive. So this might slow him down a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if George builds out here.
Well, I assume he's going to try, but big deal here, really crucial, is that we did not get any momentum this turn.
Yeah, well, we've spent the momentum from determined advance to get +2 to our check, so it's very possible. However, if we have to commit the pass-through walls, depending on whether or not the abilities on the card are relevant, means Team Dr. Ichigaki could make it kind of pointless to attack again.
Right.
However, I don't think Mark Tyner can block another attack. 2 cards in the card pool, no more responses available.
Wow.
On a 9 +2 to the check.
Checks 8.
Scanlan's hand. That's the alt art. So I believe he only had 1 in the sideboard.
No, he had 2.
You had 2? Okay, so hopefully both came in. I did say I wanted to see that one. I like Scanlan's hand a lot, man. Of course, I've only really played it in Scanlan.
You're seeing it right now. Come on, you goofball.
I've mostly only played it in Scanlan, and it's so good in that deck.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely does what he wants to do. I remember JJ playing it and saying, I'm just prepping to play my character.
Right, yeah. 9 to the face.
You definitely like to see it as George. Again, George taking some pretty, I would call, disrespectful plays, right?
I felt he was very respectful game 1, but this game,
specifically because he knows that, hey, I'm at 34 health. I blocked your first move, right?
Right.
You have 1 foundation.
Correct. Right? And we have an inspiring song, so there's no way he's playing 2 cards.
Yeah, you're not going to be resolving more than 1 attack. I'm not dying. I'm not even getting close to dying.
Yep. And once again, though, the Team Dr. Ichigaki not being used, we could have canceled the blitz to get momentum.
Right.
Which would have stopped us from playing that determined advance, which would have made our runaway much stronger.
I think it's because the pass-through walls was on board.
That's true.
You could have forced you could have forced the use though, right?
No, that's not worth it. That's not worth it.
I mean, we're using Yeetus Deletus to
debuild it.
Yeah.
Now Team Dr. Ichigaki is live.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right.
Live, yeah.
I was just thinking about game 1 where there was so many opportunities to use it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Yeetus Deletus, super powerful. Choose a rival card that's difficulty 4 or less, add it from their stage to their card pool face down. Gonna allow the use of the assets once again.
What card did Mark Tyner commit to pass the check?
The backup.
But it's okay.
Because Female Titan Ready is a backup.
Oh, my brain just exploded.
Yeah, that's the whole deck.
Yeah,
the whole deck is just play Female Titan, commit Female Titan, ready Female Titan, draw a card.
Yeah.
Then build pass.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Eventually, we'll have to see like a Colossal Detonation or something go search up a win con.
Right. It's so funny this deck plays Massive Mutant Machine to play it. Right?
Yeah, just to have
it's like one of the only ones that will play it raw as a 7 difficulty, right?
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a way to fast build it, cheat it into play, so
I don't think
technically you can build it face down with Colossal Detonation, but I don't think we can unflip it.
Oh, sure. Yeah. With the Colossal Confrontation.
Yeah, Colossal Confrontation, sorry. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think there's a way to unflip it once you do that. So it's pretty much still just play it on a 7, commit 1 unique instead of 2 cards.
It's so ironic that this is like an Armin card, right? It's pointed to be an Armin. I think it would be pretty cool right now because we have 3 face down foundations on George's side.
Yeah.
We could resolve the Colossal Confrontation, but yeah, I just don't know how realistic it would be.
All right, so here's the moment for the control deck. The aggro deck took a turn off.
Yeah.
The aggro deck had to build. It didn't
Holy
build a ton.
moly.
Called
Sam Tate, you're a genius.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. We can safely commit the Citywide Crisis. Oh, my God. It finally happened. We might have a game where Citywide Crisis and City Rampage are going to be on the board at the same time.
Hilarious.
The last possible opportunity.
Yeah, true. Last event.
Yeah. But, yeah, this is a huge deal. Ruin 3? Massive.
Yeah, the Ruin 3 coming in. That's like the least impressive part of this card, too.
Yeah. I get to search any card out of my deck. I get to build on top of it. No, but Ruin 3. And then it turns over and then also becomes
A
more
unique foundation.
board presence, right? As a unique foundation.
So what card do you think Justin searched for? He doesn't have to reveal it because there's no
it doesn't
writer
it's not a
text.
specific kind of.
Yeah, no category it has to fall under.
I think it's either going to be a board control piece or something like a runaway, right?
I think it was female Titan attacks.
You think I could see another colossal confrontation for next turn.
Could we pass one? 9, 10.
Next turn.
6, 7,
you
8,
carry it
9.
for
No,
next turn.
let's do it now.
Oh, you want to do it now?
Yeah, why
You're crazy.
not?
You just want him to lose.
No, I want him to. That's how you win the game, by dealing damage.
True.
This is the most vulnerable George has been.
I think maybe we grabbed Imprisoned.
Imprisoned would be solid.
Yeah.
I would also understand if we grabbed a runaway from our deck or like a filled without.
Right.
I know Justin really likes these powerful action hand traps combined with a thick control style of character. We saw him play Hanji Zoe quite a bit. Hanji Zoe is a character that can afford to play 4 filled without because of the 9 Titans to soak damage. So now Imprisoned is going to hit short-lived promotion.
Yeah, so we're only going to be a 7-hander this turn, not an 8.
Unfortunate.
Wow, what a
down to 4 foundations after the Ruin 3, though.
Do you think George is going to press the button?
Oh, he could.
Right, because now we're behind.
It would get rid of quite a bit of the stage, and Condescending is active.
And we drew the extra card, so we'll be able to build 3 instead of 2. Yeah.
Yep. So the issue, though, is Team Dr. Uchigaki, the female Titan, and League of Villains are going to stick around, and those are going to help Justin pass checks if he's willing to play a little risky.
We can also hack Godzilla's check if he checks poorly. No, they're foundations. What am I talking about?
If he built a non-foundation.
He built a non-foundation. Built an ass. There's like, whoa. Only 2 foundations built.
Interesting.
Holding 1? I guess because Mark could pass a check to play an attack.
He could play an attack. Or maybe we just only had the 2 foundations and had a really nice attack.
I think you just take the damage where you can, right? I agree with this.
So we're going to see the Mark Tyner response. We're going to get the
Gain
Blitz and
2
gain
life.
2 health.
Yeah, I think that this is, even though George did the board nuke button, I think that this is favoring Justin at the moment because George is in a double tap range, right? Where if George doesn't respect the damage output now, we can die. Yeah,
Justin's definitely been ahead most of this game, regardless of what the life totals have been.
Yeah.
And now he does have the life lead as well. So going to get the fight for truth at the end of the turn. And, oh, man, a little rough because we didn't get to draw both of those attacks.
Right.
But
got one.
But it's really nice to know that you're going to get the Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken.
So that one, I think you would have to use the League of Villains or the Dr. Uchigaki on because you really want to have that condescending explanation live.
Yeah. So you'd probably check hack with the backup.
Yeah.
Cancel the enhance to commit.
Deciding whether or not to cancel the
fight for control?
No, I think it was a fearsome.
Or not fighting for control.
Horrifying realization.
Horrifying realization. Canceled horrifying realization.
Yeah. I think that's what happened. Not quite sure.
They want his character card in the character card slot.
Yeah, put the backups. They're the backups.
No,
even though they're not on the stage.
Okay.
Okay. League of Villains can cancel and enhance. Yeah, I wish I knew.
And enhance on an attack or foundation card.
Yeah.
Specifically. So now Team Dr. Uchigaki importantly can cancel things like City Rampage, which we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
You know, that's the one thing George has really been missing that really truly counters Mark Tyner.
Yeah.
You know, I get +2 to everything. You can only give me -2 twice. We do have the Godzilla momentum though. And the biggest issue here is that unlike other check hacks, you could play an attack, have Mark Tyner response, and fail it
and then
against so many other check hacks, but Mark Tyner would actually end the turn.
Yep.
So if George checks bad on an attack here, if he checked a 3 on a 5 div, and Mark Tyner hacked the check, his turn would just end. It's like George checking out what's in the discard pile. It's pretty big. There's a lot of options in there, a lot of things to mentally keep track of. 3 runaway, I think we saw in the discard pile.
So they did come in
the
from the
full
sideboard.
4.
I think we've got 1 main board, 2 side. No, it is 2 main, 2 side. So there's 1 more in the deck.
Potentially. He might not have sided them all, but you have to assume.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I think he did.
You have to assume he sided them all, which might have been why he canceled the horrifying realization. Now, here's my boy Scanlan's hand.
Wow. We're going to have to check act that, I guess. Oh, he didn't. We just decided. Oh, because it's a
2 diff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 2 diff. Okay, never mind.
Which it looks like. We did it in the wrong order. Technically, you got to discard. Well, no, Scanlan actually you don't. You discard the momentum after you make the check for Scanlan's hand because it's not part of the cost. It's part of the effect. You can optionally choose to do it.
Yeah, right. Because it's not a cost.
Yeah.
No matter what, you get to commit a non-character card, and then if you spend the momentum, you get it. Yeah. It's part of the effect.
5, 6, no Mark Tyner response here. We do have the ability to cancel and enhance on Vast Hybrid, but Vast Hybrid can just commit the asset first.
Yeah.
However, that would allow Justin to do the condescending explanation. So I don't actually know what's the better sequence here.
I think we're pressing the button first to use the League of Village. And then now Justin has to decide whether to use the condescending explanation or lose the condescending explanation.
So, so the thing is so now we could use the condescending, but that is a D build. Yeah. And George is willing to take the D build of one of your 2 foundations away.
Yeah.
Which I like this. I didn't know exactly what was better at first, but now that I'm seeing it played out, I think George made the right call.
Yeah, you got to play through some of your opponent's stuff sometimes.
Now, I will say using Scanlan's hand on a turn where you don't get to win the game feels pretty rough. And we know that's the second Scanlan's hand.
Yeah.
So that play is not available for the rest of the game.
Also, use the momentum, right? So we don't have that for
we have 1 momentum left instead of 2. So I don't know if that was overall the best turn we could have had. However, I do like the sequencing George had. I just really wish we did have another attack as a follow-up to actually punish something about it. But debuilding the condescending is changing the board state, right? It is progress.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people are afraid to fight through rival interaction.
Right.
When sometimes you just got to say, okay, make them use it and we'll worry about everything else on another turn.
Yep. It's definitely a thing that people need to learn to do.
Right. Just let them cancel.
Yeah. You
let
sometimes
them cape of no return.
Yeah. You don't need seal. You don't need committal. You don't need flips and destroys.
You just need volume.
Yeah. To deal with a board threat, right? Sometimes you just need to play through the piece, right? Especially when it's a one and done, like a remove cost.
And most people won't do it unless they can play through it all in one turn and end the game and feel confident. But George is up a game, so he can take a little bit of risk too.
Yeah, and even then, I don't think it was that risky, right?
No, exactly.
Forcing the removal meant that Mark has 1 less foundation too.
Imagine if Justin thought that he could survive anyways and just let everything go through, right? That's kind of the gambit you're going for. So
there is a runaway in hand, by the way. Another imprisoned. Another Team Dr. Ichigaki.
Yep, and that's what we were talking about. You can use them liberally.
House of Cards, so choice in this matchup.
Yes, you gotta first enhance that Godzilla momentum away, probably,
or else you're gonna check a 3.
Right. Not only are you gonna check a 3, you're gonna check a 1.
Yeah. Oh, true. Yeah, even worse. Yeah.
Depending, I guess, do we know for sure it's an attack? Could that card have been added to momentum via like a final?
Oh, right. It could have been there
for a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while since the earlier turns. We're getting the cycle here, so I'm excited for the cycle because that means Scanlan's hands are back.
You're so in on the Scanlan's hand.
Scanlan's hand.
I hate that character. I just don't like him.
Oh, I'm not the biggest fan of like the character in the show or anything, but I like the card and I like the character.
Now talk about a card I really would like to see. Not now, Mom. I'm gaming.
You would.
I love that card, dude.
You guys don't know, but Chris Bromley has had his switch out when he's off.
Oh,
rounds,
yeah, dude.
just gaming the whole
because
time.
the gunslinging guys have been playing the whole time. So the first day I was getting games in, but since then, everyone's playing teams matches. I just don't have much to do. So I watch the game and I play my Switch.
Over there with the controllers in hand.
I'm gaming.
And we're like, Bromley, we need you to record something. He goes, not now.
I'm gaming. Okay, so Imprisoned hit. I think it was the draw, right? It was the only foundation on the board with a relevant text.
Yeah, I mean, if you hit Master's Pride, that's probably
silly.
a misplay.
Very silly.
Yeah. George in the tank. This is not an easy board state to navigate. The Mark Tyner decks do get to play the game in a very weird way.
Yeah.
And again, the check hack ending the turn adds so much tension to every card you want to play.
Yeah. I mean, we have another Vast hybrid, which means that we could bait out some pieces, maybe. Yeah, I mean, of all the cards that were available to us, I think this card is the best opener, right? Better than City Rampage, okay? Better than Determined Advance, because it's unfailable, even if we check a 1, right?
Right.
And then it forces decisions from Justin, right?
Mm-hmm. And what's really rough about City Rampage in this matchup with where we're at now, Mark Tyner can hack the check to play it.
And then cancel it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so Vast Hybrid is a good one to keep drawing.
Correct. Yeah.
Pre and post cycle. And we've certainly drawn. We played 3 this game. So first in hand's going to target House of Cards. Instead of using the Godzilla momentum, we're going to target the House of Cards and say, hey, do you want to use League of Villains to cancel this?
Or Ichigaki, but I think League of Villains is better for this card.
It's interesting. Whoa.
All right.
Justin saying, hey.
Funny enough, if we did activate Master's Pride,
yeah,
Justin can burn him every time because it's playing an ability on a committed card. And that is the hidden text on League of Villains.
True.
It is a burn effect that can win you the game. I'm pretty sure.
It's not. I think it can kill.
So I think what we just did, I think we played the Enhance on Warped Pleasure, which had no effect because neither player has more than 6 foundations.
That's your turn only, but it does have another effect.
Oh, true.
Your attack. Yeah, he just played the Enhance on it. Yeah,
he just played the bottom enhance,
which doesn't do anything. Yeah.
So he could respond with House of Cards to add the momentum to the top of George's deck. So George knows what he's checking, and I'm pretty sure it's a 3. And the Mark Tyner response is still activatable.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And a runaway.
So this is 6 health. He's going to lose. So, again, this is theoretically progress.
Mm-hmm.
But
no momentum.
We do have 1 card. We do have to add another card to our card pool. However, it's a City Rampage.
Yeah.
So you get that juicy 1-1 if you could actually pass a check. But I don't think we can.
I think that this is going to mean a 2 or a 3 build. Tam, a hero, bringing us water. But yeah, it's so funny.
He is a hero too.
Because Justin, he really is a hero too. And strength doesn't make a hero, Sam.
Oh, it was a 5
we had a 5. Okay.
We just didn't have a good enough attack.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, if you played an attack on a 7 and you were still going to check a 3, that math is not mathing.
Yeah.
So
it's not.
That's just how it goes. If we had a way to activate those Master's Pride, though, I think we'd feel really good. However, Justin still debuilding himself, right? The Master of Cards left our stage. We had to debuild ourselves.
So we're still down to 2 foundations.
Yeah. And, I mean, luckily that check bonus is really strong on Mark Tyner. So he's still able to, play attacks every single turn. It's just not super threatening. However, George not in the best position either to block everything. A 7-speed move would be relatively threatening because Mark Tyner can potentially hack the block check if he blocks with a non-foundation card.
And he's at 5, right? George is at 5 health.
Yeah, so he has to completely block almost everything in the deck, I believe. Yeah. Well, no, Jaw Titan and Female Titan would only be 3 and 4 on half. Warped Pleasure does add 1/1 though, right? It is active on.
Yes, it is active.
Yeah, so Warped Pleasure would make 8 damage moves lethal on a partial.
Really, really deep in the tank here. I think we may go to overtime in game 3 if there is one.
Oh, that's a good question. Do you know Last time we did a tournament once where we had a 60-minute timer, even for the top 16 matches. Do you know we started with 90 and we're at an hour and 15 minutes? I don't feel like it's been that long.
I think we started at an hour.
Yeah.
Do we have an hour and a half?
So this is a 90-minute top cut. Yeah.
I thought maybe it had changed.
I think we're halfway through the round. I think we're 45 minutes into a 90-minute round because it doesn't feel like it's been over an hour.
I agree.
And I know like the UGN can't do a 90-minute timer, so
they certainly cannot.
Can't figure that one out. At least not for events I run.
They better. Or else.
I thought at once it's because I have to put it as like local store play or whatever. I don't have access to put it as like, a sweaty tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, there's so many times where you have to be responsible as a player for knowing the timer because you just can't trust digital implementation sometimes.
Really, really deep in the tank here. So the thing is that both of these backups can give 2 speed to a move. So I think that
they can add real stats, not just check hack stats.
Correct. Yeah, and then you could use the League of Villains for the final bit of 2 speed. But sorry, let me put Jaw Titan gives any move 2 speed, and I think Female Titan similarly gives a thing 2 speed. Right?
We're doing the table tap math.
Yeah, I think that
we're table tapping.
Yeah, barring like a runaway, which is not in George's deck, main or side.
Yeah,
any move could potentially kill, right?
I think you're right, though. I think anything we play is too fast.
Yeah.
We can add 4 speed to it and then check hack most blocks. But if you block with a foundation, unless it's like exactly finally awake, it's going to be like on a 10 plus.
Yeah.
And no momentum for Godzilla. Oh, wait, do we have a finally awakened stage? Okay. So Godzilla can potentially get a momentum. Or at least force the League of Villains commit, right, to cancel it.
Right.
Because if he gets a momentum, he can ready 2 foundations and then also get +2 to his check to block. However, if he readies the 2 foundations, Justin's just going to do the cancel. That's smart.
I mean, the math is even, in my opinion, on it. And I think now, because we don't have a unique foundation or unique card to block, right, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, right. We don't have a unique to commit.
It's only 9 speed. It's feasible to block it.
Oh, my goodness. He had it, Christopher. He had it the whole time. Not sweating it at all. George Rangel going to 1
I've seen
life.
George make that check, right, on a 5 live.
Hilariously.
A lot today.
Hilariously, provided he didn't have a better option to block, like a complete block.
Yeah.
If Justin had allowed the momentum to be added to Godzilla and George responded with Master's Pride, he would have died to a partial block because League of Villains could have burned him twice. So Justin, probably played it correctly because George would have to make a mistake.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if Justin is assuming George understands the board state is playing correctly, then Justin played correctly.
Right.
But there is a world where George would have punted that game by readying foundations and getting burned twice and only having access to a partial block.
Right. Well, we'll see if George has a stun move or another Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken.
And you can see the posture change, right?
Yeah.
Justin recognizes exactly where he's at.
Yeah, he could die here.
He knows that he's not in a commanding position anymore. He's got some play, and it's not going to be necessarily easy for George. But if George is buying into the body language,
Scanlan's again.
Please let me have this. Bromley, let me have this.
Sam,
he doesn't have a momentum. No,
you
I
cannot
don't
commit the
have
character,
this.
But you can
You
commit the
commit
normal.
Team Doctor Ichigaki. Yeah, that's pretty good.
The thing is, committing any of the unique cards on the board is almost evenly as relevant.
I'll accept committing Ichigaki.
Yeah,
that's almost
Ichigaki
as good.
Is a very, very good thing. This means you can follow up with any move. Oh boy. Okay.
All right, we're gonna check a 1, and you're gonna see the fastest 5 committed foundations in the West.
Yeah.
All right, I'll settle for Scanlan's hand committing Ichigaki to win the game.
Well, but we need the thing is that if this, we're gonna get +1 to our check, right?
Yes. Unless something crazy happens, like a filled with doubt response. I don't know if we're into enhances yet.
Yeah, I was hoping that we would have a stun move here.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Right. If you're a George Rangel fan, if you're a Godzilla fan, that's what you're looking for.
Well, if you're a fan of the game, right, you want good gameplay.
That's true. I think a lot of people, when they think of that, they want a game 3, right? They want more gameplay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So this is a 1 mid. We're going to take the damage from the 8 damage move. Drawing a card.
Oh, a breaker block would have been so nice there.
Yeah, I think that's what he was deciding, was whether or not we should get the breaker or value the Mark Tyner response or moment of normalcy, right?
Interesting. Yeah. So I assume, did we check a 4 on that? Because it should have been on a 5.
I think we checked the 4.
Okay, yeah, and then he would have had to commit 1 anyways.
Yeah.
Man, that's tough. When your deck doesn't have 3 checks in it and the 4 check is still biting you in the butt.
Yeah. We're at Mark Tyner response or die at this point. Or the right block zone, of course, right? But
oh yeah, we're at 4. I was gonna say maybe a runaway, but we're at 4.
Walk the dog, hilariously bad right now. It's a 6 diff.
Yeah, not great. On an 8, commit out. 5, 6, 7, 8.
You have to check a 7.
I think George is counting how many 6s are left in his deck.
That's so funny.
I think he's trying to figure out how many attacks are left and how many 6s are left, and in between how many 5s are left. This could be the entire game resting on a single control check. He's going for the walk the dog on an 8, checks a 5. We're going to see the cards being laid down from Justin.
Both of the no, I guess what? Why couldn't we check hack it?
Maybe we checked hacked.
Oh, we have +1
twice?
to the check. Okay, it was a +1 to the check already.
Smashing stomp. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you check hack it, it's a 4, 5, 6, 7. I thought it would have been on an 8. I don't know. I think we missed 1.
Maybe check
one
6.
bonus.
If it was a 7, he had 3 foundations or 2 foundations character. Right, with +1 to the check, he makes the check, regardless of the check hack.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing. What I think would happen.
Anyways, congratulations to George. Undefeated on the entire weekend.
He's going to go
winning
on to fight
2-0
Yeah.
with, again, just amazing counterplay to the Mark Tyner gameplay. And look at that smug smile. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing to the game for value.
Yeah, I love the arms crossed.
Yeah, the esports pose.
Yeah, esports
The
pose.
esports pose is
Well,
so great.
we're going to see an aggro mirror. Kind of a flip from what we had last year, right?
Right.
2 control characters, who are controlling the aggro characters. Aggro characters are now beating the crap out of the control characters today.
People crowding around, but it's too early. You can't celebrate yet.
Yeah, George
have
hasn't
one more
won yet.
match to
One
go.
more to go. George going to be taking on Chris Miner, piloting that cool Nagoriyuki, the only one at this event today.
Yeah.
Right? Not just today, but yesterday.
So we have 6-hander who gives 3 damage to everything versus 6-hander who gives 4
4
damage to everything. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I see where this format's
I mean,
going.
but that's like a 622 a lot of the time, right? Because
true.
he burned himself for 10.
Yeah, I do want to say really quick, guys, before we go to our final break here, before grand finals, we do have a very special announcement. We have a special presentation for you all, a very championship presentation, very on brand for where we're at with the World Championship. I don't want to spoil too much, but if you guys are fans of the game, if you're fans of the history of UniVersus, you do not want to miss it. So please don't go anywhere. We're going to have a very special announcement and then our grand finals, and we're going to crown the 2025 World Champion and find out who becomes immortalized in cardboard.
And this is my last round, ladies and gentlemen at home. So it was a blast to be commentating for this regional. I think I probably won't be commentating again after this point. So I just wanted to thank everybody. Thanks, Sam.
Gonna miss you, pal.
I'm gonna miss you too. But really, really loved doing this, and I look forward to seeing people again in the future, maybe at a different event. But kisses, hugs, and much love to everybody.
Hello. Hi, Twitch chat and YouTube chat. Hope you guys are having a good day. Hi, chat.
Hi, chat. What up? We're testing a thing so we can do something live. Does that sound okay?
Cool. This is Brian for someone who asked in the chat.
One in chat if you can hear us, please. Thanks, Spike.
Welcome back, everybody. We are this close to our grand finals and crowning a new UniVersus World Champion and finding out who becomes the next playable champ card in our beautiful game. I, of course, am Sam Tate. I'm joined by Barrett Bryant. We're going to be leading you through the grand finals of this tournament. But before we get there, Barrett, there's a pretty special presentation we'd like to show the folks at home.
It's a pretty special one, and I do hope the people at home also appreciate it. So we're going to go ahead and show the people this video.
525,600 minutes. How do we measure a year? In block zones, in keywords, in 6 checks, in card pools cleared, in forms, in blitzes, enhances, in responses. 525,600 minutes. How do we measure a year in the life? For I have known them all already. I have known the good symbol, the bad checks, the late night playtests. I have measured my life in game-winning top decks. These two players have waited for this moment for 525,600 minutes. A year of UniVersus action culminates in one final battle. A single match is all that separates them from crushing defeat or immortality. Join us as we embrace a new member of the UniVersus Pantheon. This is your 2025 World Championship Grand Finals. So very excited that all of you have joined us for this wonderful journey, but I'm even more excited that Kevin Broberg, the greatest UniVersus player of all time, is joining me here today to talk about this beautiful, wonderful, and dare I say, incredibly interesting brand new champ card that for many of you at home are going to get their very first look at.
Thanks, Sam. Yeah, designing this thing was a journey. I've made a card before, and so it was a whole new experience, though. Like how much I shared this with everyone as I was kind of coming up, brainstorming the idea, kind of importing some ideas from poker, from other games, and trying to make a quest for players to build their own customized version of me. And then I'm so excited to see what people do with it, what people come up with, what little tweaks they put on this, what little spins they get, what quests they want to go on, and just the 8-hand size. Every turn you get so many options to start with, and how you want to make the most of those is going to be just it's a card that gives people tools, I hope, to express themselves in the game, and that's really what I wanted to go for with this one.
That's so awesome. Why don't you tell the folks at home what your character is going to do?
Yeah, unfortunately, it is a bit wordy, but I think the quests, I think it makes sense when you can break it down. It's an 8-hand size. You lose a card at the end of the turn. So you get a bonus review step, is my favorite step of the game. And then there's a form, and you commit and reveal 5 cards from your hand. And the way I think of this is that you reveal a flush with 5 cards of matching suits with matching keywords. Then you get the reward of building a card from your discard pile with 4 less difficulty, and then also adding a card from your discard pile on top of your deck. So you're going to get a good check, or maybe you can do some more card manipulation to be able to draw it. And then if you have different difficulty values on the 5 revealed cards, then you increase or decrease all checks by +or-1. And then the cards you revealed for the cost will stay revealed for the rest of the turn. So if you need either one of these independently, so you can just have 5 different numbers and then get the checks. Either direction is defense, kind of to make your opponent's life harder, or on your own to make your own cards more effective. Or you can play the keywords and get that choice of what you want to be doing with it. And I think to even reach that point, the thing that I really love with this is that it's kind of crazy to just try to have these draw naturally. And my favorite thing is to kind of move cards around. That's kind of what I'm famous for a little bit. And so how you want to achieve this quest, how you want to go on this, do you just want to leave it up to chance and draw to the draw steps, or do you want to start moving cards around in the first place? That'll be up to the player who wants to play with Kevin Broberg, the character card.
And I love that you can reveal essentially a straight flush and get everything on the card.
Yeah, for people with ambition.
Yeah, truly. And it's not a first form. So throughout the turn, finding ways to add cards to your hand. I know you're a big Ready Shot fan. Adding a 1 diff that, matches the suite and gets the keyword would be really, really cool. So very excited for that. Let me ask you, how long did it take you to come up with this idea? Was this something you had in the can ready to go? I know you said you shopped it around with
I think the vision, honestly, in some sense, the vision goes back to the first character card I ever won was with the character Maylin from Red Horizon, who said reveal a pair to get a big damage bonus and had that kind of card cycling effect going on in the first place. And so ultimately is kind of similar in spirit to this of the poker hands. And so it's been percolating. As soon as I wanted that, I thought, well, I get to design a character. What do I want to do with it? Well, it'd be cool to do some other more complicated poker hands, but I couldn't imagine how to achieve that. And then finally, last year actually at Worlds, I was kind of shopping around of I've started having these ideas of, well, if I reveal 5 and they're matching in some way, or they're kind of representing a straight or a flush, then you can start getting rewards. And then it was even when I was in dialogue with the design team of what the rewards for that were going to be and what would make sense, what kind of heritage and influences I would bring from other cards that I really loved in the game. There's all it's a fun game to say, well, what cards was this inspired by in UniVersus? Because there's a lot of them over the years. So in some sense, I'm sort of importing the ideas from years and years of design and years of and even just ideas and dialogue with other players at Worlds and after Worlds in the shape of this. And so it's been it's a whole journey, like life.
Very, very cool. You've had some amazing journeys throughout your life in UniVersus. I want to ask you, how did you arrive to this symbol combination death chaos life?
In some sense, this was directly a response of I won with these symbols. Actually, two of my characters now have been won with the death symbol.
Okay.
And I had Hanji Four Eyes. I love that deck, and she had Death and Life. And then the Chaos symbol, I won the Hero League Championship with Midnight. And really, that was, I think, pretty much just the heritage of let me represent those symbols that I really love those symbols. I love what they how they get designed and represented in the game and what they let me do. And I wanted to be able to play with those cards whenever I played with Kevin Broberg.
That's very cool. It's amazing that there's so much going on with this card, but you can see where the symbol identity really matches, Chaos really good with the checks and things like that. The life symbol very much about sort of cheating, by adding things to the top of the deck and making sure that you can pass all your checks and maybe potentially even a form speed draw or something like that with cards like Horrifying Realization. So I'm super excited to see this one in play. The last question I got for you, Broberg, is where's the inspiration from the art?
Yeah, so this is I'm blanking on the name of the actual artist, but the artist is inspired very much by the game Disco Elysium and the portraits
Will
in there.
Sir?
Well, there's a kind of a classical portrait artist who inspired Disco Elysium.
Gotcha.
I got the links to their work and so kind of what they were doing and the kind of the splotchy effect is really, I thought, really striking. And I want to just have a straightforward, just it's a portrait of my face, but kind of the way someone described it is that it's kind of the two wolves inside of me, right? And there's always
got a little bit of a Mona Lisa thing going on,
a little bit. And so there's kind of the light side me, sitting in the face in person versus kind of the cold mechanical spreadsheets calculating whatever me, sitting in a dark room on the internet kind of vibes. And so that's kind of the immediate portraiture and kind of the digital artifacts in between as you kind of go between them or whatever. And so very much it's all kind of inspired too by this. I'm frustrated. I can't remember. I didn't look up the name of the artist for Disco Elysium, but the kind of the splotchiness, and that's kind of calling back to some of his work of that people aren't always you get a portrait, it's a still representation of them, but it's not them. They change over time. They're different from moment to moment, day to day, and that's kind of some of what the artist is trying to convey.
That's absolutely amazing. I think I love everything about this card, from the 8-hand size, which is incredibly unique.
So thrilled with how it's come out, and everyone's reactions to it have been so incredibly positive and bracing, and just I love how this came out. It couldn't have come better.
Amazing stuff, sir. Do you have one last message for everyone at home? What do you think all UniVersus players should know?
Embrace peak UniVersus. Go towards the hard part of the game and give it your all and give it your best, and the game will give back to you, and you will be rewarded for everything you invest in the game. It's really a beautiful game, and I love it so much.
Well, amazing stuff, sir. Congratulations on getting this champ card. It's always a pleasure to have you around, but we have to find out who our newest world champion will be. We're going to take a very small break, but we are coming right back with me and Barrett Bryant. We're going to jump into the grand finals. You're not going to want to miss a second of the action. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back, everybody. This is almost basically the last time we will say hello to you again this weekend because I'm Bear Bryant, joined by Sam Tate, and that's right, it's finals time. It is time to figure out, just as you just had that wonderful conversation with Kevin and his newest champ card that will be added to the fray. Here is our journey of the finals, all the way to get to George Rangel versus Chris Minor, all the way at the end.
The only Nagoriyuki
Yes.
versus the most represented character.
And the most converted.
Yep.
And Chris Minor has already eliminated the other two.
And yeah, exactly. That was going to be
Yes.
my next point is he has already gone through this gauntlet of Godzilla. Did he play every Godzilla in Top Cuts, actually?
Correct.
Yes, he's played every single one. So he has to be confident in this matchup. But at the same time, the story would tell you that Nagoriyuki is the underdog.
Yes.
And I think the thing that I'm most excited about, Barrett, is we're guaranteed a brand new champion.
Absolutely. we
Neither of these players have been a champion before. I think, did we even have a previous champion in the top 16, actually? Ryan Field has been a team's champion,
are. Correct.
but none of these
Jacob
players.
Johnson was the only
Jacob Johnson, he was the only one with a character card, and he got eliminated in top 16. So for a while now, we've known that we were going to have a brand new member of what I like to call the UniVersus Pantheon.
I like that.
I like that too. But the finalist is going to get this beautiful playmat. Luke Sullivan, gym coach, Donatello, Kai Kiske, Percival. I'm not saying the whole name on that one.
Okay.
And Levi Ackerman, Chromes. Absolutely beautiful. Love the gold and the silver treatment. Love the way the colors pop on the Ninja Turtles. But the champion is going to get Aaron Yeager, Jester Lavore, Ryu, World Warrior, Leonardo the Leader, and Soul Bad Guy, all the protagonists, because you yourself will become the main character in UniVersus with your own champ card and a plaque and a playmat, of course, to commemorate that.
This is what they're playing for. Of course, both these players have locked in that finalist reward just by sitting in the chairs that they are in. But just like you said, this is the ultimate prize in card games that they are going for. I never like to jinx anything, of course, or I don't pick any favorites going into the finals. But I did ask each of them, have you already maybe started thinking, maybe getting their heads a little bit? Have you thought what your character might do?
Oh, you can't.
And-
superstitious. I'm superstitious. You
Not
can't.
asked both of them. So,
Yeah.
of course, they have not.
Mhm.
That's not what they are focusing on. They are focusing on the match that is happening right soon. But, of course, we will do our final shout-out of the Godzilla Reign of Kaiju set that, yes, currently as we are speaking, the super pre-release is happening on Sunday here at Worlds. You can type in Kaiju pre-release for more info. Of course, the actual pre-release for most stores or for stores across the country and the world will be next week on March 6th, and the actual release of the set on March 13th.
And
Yes.
And this set has some of the most beautiful cards we have ever been blessed with in UniVersus. Mothra, Divine Mothra. I just saw someone open that. I believe it was Marvin Emery opened a Chrome Mothra here at the event. So if you're not at Worlds, you're missing out.
And Godzilla, Titan of Terra, one of my favorite characters from the set. Just being able to play a 5 difficulty card for free.
For free?
For free. Incredible power, of course, and that is why he might even usurp the Godzilla of old. But speaking of the Godzilla of old, it is also the Godzilla of now.
Correct.
George Rangel, Swiss champ after yesterday, completely winning out and just drawing with Carson at the end. First seed coming into this top 16, making all the way now to the finals. Guaranteed to go first in game 1.
Mm-hmm. Typically pretty important in these aggro mirrors.
Pretty big.
It's not that surprising to me that our grand finals is a 6-hand size that adds a bunch of damage versus a 6-hand size that adds a bunch of damage. And I think what's really cool is we've looked at the deck list a bit before in the stream. Godzilla adding bonuses to checks. Nagoriyuki's just playing really low difficulty moves.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's the big thing that Bromley and I have always been talking about. He got to come and take quite a bit of Nago. And that's the thing is, right, both of these characters give a lot of damage, but Godzilla is limited in the card types, right? But I cannot say enough about Chris Minor, right? Not only has he had to eliminate these Godzillas, but both Ryan K and Carson Panos that he already faced yesterday, he had to go against them again today and settle the score and prove himself and to everyone else watching why he deserves to be in this finals.
Yeah, and I mean, he defeated all of the best defensive characters in our game, basically, with Rodan and Izuku Midoriya's falling to the wayside, and now he's proven he can beat the aggro decks as well today. So it's going to come down to one final match. One final time, we're going to take a look at these deck lists, what we're calling the sauceless Godzilla, maybe the best Godzilla we've ever seen, and all of these cards have worked beautifully. When we say sauceless, that is not a dig at all. That is recognizing what is the best cards to put in Godzilla, not getting distracted by, plays I like to do.
And I think it led even to the similar success about why George did so well in Atlanta, getting second place with Porco.
Correct.
It was not sauceless in the sense of
the Porco deck had a lot of sauce, actually.
Yes, but lots of 4-ups and playing the good ones.
Correct.
Meanwhile, over here on Chris's deck, also playing a lot of copies of the good ones, but some cheeky answers and cards in the format that only really the order symbol has access to, and this deck is very well tailored for this matchup.
Yeah, the biggest thing is we've seen the board wipe get basically countered by Fierce Wings, one of the strongest action responses that we don't see that often. If one of your foundations are committed or destroyed by a rival effect, which a Walk the Dog Godzilla deck is looking to do all the time, Fierce Wings can then respawn from the hand, and you can build a non-unique foundation from your discard pile. And we've already seen Chris double Fierce Wings respond to the once per game ability to then basically say, well, you wanted to go first, but I actually went first.
Yeah. And in this similar situation, again, George going to be able to go first here, but we've seen Chris Minor break serve time and time again in this tournament, even against Ryan Kogod, a 2-0 victory, having to go second, of course, in that second game. And we, of course, for you to win a match in UniVersus, when you're not going first in game one, you have to be able to break serve no matter what. And that is the epitome of our game, right? And, I don't want to, talk too much about the going first, going second kind of conversation, because the reality is that
it hasn't been that important.
It
today.
hasn't. And you go into a tournament like this because you know that your deck has to win on both sides of the coin.
Yeah, I mean, we saw George lose game one earlier in the tournament, but then get the reverse sweep anyway. So the higher seed advantage has not been a guarantee in each of these games. But we do see a very nice build from George coming up first. He's got 3 foundations and that military airship.
Yeah, can't ask for anything really better than that, especially going first without that partial mulligan. But fighting for control, we've talked about this card quite a bit against this Godzilla deck, because not only are we playing that one of Spicy Coenmus has, but fighting for control on something like a City Rampage can mean getting more resources committed out of George. But a build 5 is going to feel really good going into this game one.
And I love that Chris has essentially recognized, right, that my character is not so necessary for defensive turns. So on build turns, he can be more greedy. He can play higher difficulty cards than your average aggro deck. A lot of aggro decks not playing 4 difficulty foundations, playing more spam. We're seeing Chris play these 2 diff foundations with better techs because the character is just now an extra resource. He doesn't have to rely on it to play defense.
There's a City Rampage kicking things off for George. Checks a 3, and Chris has a decision here.
You can fighting for control this to make it a 1. However, the turn doesn't end. So I personally, Barrett, I've always believed you don't check hack with the clause. Obviously, Mark Tyner is different.
Yeah.
But when the failing the check doesn't end the combat phase, you only hack good checks.
I like that, and especially
unless it's life or death, and them failing means they can't attack you anymore.
Yeah. I agree with this. I like this play here, and Chris said, no, I'm going to hold it, because now it means if something like another bad check comes through with an attack card being played, you still have it. On a 5-6.
Oh, and here we see it.
And here is an opportunity where you could actually just force this card to fail.
Exactly.
There it is. Forces it to fail, which means the turn doesn't end, like you said, but denying a Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken for the board control is pretty big.
For a 2-4 flip? Come on.
And there's no follow-up.
Amazing.
Wow. Already an explosive game coming into this finals, and decisions and the repercussions and choices that are made.
I truly believe that George thought he was going to hack the City Rampage check. Whether it was a 5 or a 3, I thought he was really going to fight through that fighting for control. And obviously, you don't expect to check back-to-back 3s. They were back-to-back determined advance, too. So a little unlucky for George there, but it's not over yet.
No,
We're
not
both
even
still
close.
full health. It's only the beginning of the game.
Building
Blood-sucking universe coming down
building
here.
a finally freeze and Pastor Walls, I think, are very, very good. So, but a blood-sucking universe coming in here is the first attack here on Chris's side. Also checking poorly. We've seen Chris actually check quite a few threes across this entire tournament.
Yeah, both decks kind of built to check bad and fight through it. But with the added pressure of that fighting for control, Chris has come out ahead. So finally awake, going to add us a momentum. But we're looking at a 9 damage throw and the Roman cancel token. The Roman cancel being a really strong defensive piece. And especially now that we know at least 2 determined advance are in the discard pile, that's one of the best attacks that can't truly be countered by the Roman cancel defensive ability. So Chris has got to feel really good about having 2 momentum and a Roman cancel going into George's next turn.
9 straight to the face, and we even are starting to use these don't do this pretty aggressively, and this explains why.
Walk the dog, second attack of the game, another stun coming down, getting the pass-through walls committed, going to be able to draw a card, and this is for at least 10 damage.
Yeah, the question is, does George start using this 1 momentum that we've generated defensively for +2 to the check to block? Because, again, another 10 damage move.
My real question here is, depending on the aggression that we have coming up, we could powerful with that Roman cancel token, or if we can't deal 25, the freeze mode could be kind of a big deal here. Freezing something like pass-through walls could come up huge later on if we have a breaker block or if we have an asset that we want to build.
Absolutely. Of course,
or even just deny 1 resource, right?
Another 10 damage, down to 15 for George.
Everything's coming up Chris now. He's got the momentum. There's the Thunder Spear barrage. We don't do this anymore. Our rival is committed out. However, if we check a 3 on the echoed mode, we'd have to commit Nagoriyuki, and that's a lot of damage we'd be missing. We would then be forced to reduce the speed and make this very blockable. And because we have military airship, if George blocks the first one, we pretty much know we're going to block the second one.
Yeah, I mean, the only fear then is because of the modal stats adjustments that you can choose. As
we're full sending it.
Full sending it here for a 10 damage Thunder Spear barrage.
Yeah, we're looking for the zone check here. If George doesn't have a high block, he's going to be taking at least 5 on a partial, and that military airship becomes a little less effective, but double partial would keep us alive.
1 high for 10.
A breaker effect would also keep us alive, but I don't think George has one from hand. I think it's only Inspiring Song.
I think that's pretty huge for Chris, getting that momentum used no matter what.
Yeah, using the momentum on Godzilla before it gets committed by Nagoriyuki, because the Fukio added 3 speed back, gave us the 3rd counter. Now the Nagoriyuki, or maybe I got the order wrong, but you know, the Nagoriyuki plus the Fukio getting us to 4 counters, only a partial. And Godzilla's committed now.
Down to 10. The echoed copy, as long as Nago is upright, will be on a 4/5.
Yep, that's enough.
The question is, if there's a low block in George's hand, this is just lethal.
Well, no, because we have the airship. We can partial again.
Right. I'm so sorry. You're right.
The question was if we have to full send this.
But maybe there's a world where is a misplay by Chris? We could have committed the airship
instead
of
Godzilla.
Yeah, it's any card in the stage, but there it is going down to 5. This does flip. Is there another move that we could pass? You'd have to check a 6, and as we know, Chris doesn't actually play any 6 checks. And like you said, we need Nago face up.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct, partner. I think not committing the military airship after the momentum got spent is definitely a mistake here, but it might not hurt Chris. He's still got a decent amount of health, but we did just lose 10.
Yeah, we did 10 damage to ourselves. You denied the airship for offense here on George, and also got rid of that momentum that George was obviously hoping to have on their offensive turn, but it's up to George's grip here now, surviving at 5.
And no review, so we'll never know what that card in his hand was. If it was a low block, if it was a walk the dog or a smashing stomp, Chris could have won by committing the asset. However, now we've committed enough foundations that George can play his own walk the dog, 6 low for 9 as an opener, stun 1, draw card. I mean, you don't get to start with Walk the Dog very often, but when you do, it feels amazing.
Absolutely. The epitome of the backswing because of the overcommittal here from Chris. I mean, I really want to know that by the end of this game, whether that last card in George's hand was a low block, because if it was, this could have been decided immediately on Chris's turn 2. But here we are, George on turn 3, after basically getting completely thwarted in his turn 2. He has a real opportunity here to take this game.
Yeah, we're taking 9 to the face.
Down to 13.
A smashing stomp checks a 6. He's him.
Yes, it's just
he's built different.
And this one can draw us a card. So even if you don't think there's another attack in George's hand, we have an opportunity to get one. Monster aggression, giving a 1-1.
Love to see it. All right, this one's up to 10 damage. Gonna attempt to block with Imprisoned.
Checks
a 4. Not enough. We're gonna respond. We can draw a card.
Needs an attack card, and he's shaking his head. George didn't get what he was looking for.
Not loving it.
Wow.
Not loving it.
Razor thin.
Drew a card on both attacks.
Yeah.
He drew 2 attacks that draw cards. That's heartbreaking.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And here it is again. It's back to Chris Minor. And if there's one thing, I'm going to say it, one of the key successes to this deck is Blood-Sucking Universe.
Chris is not reviewing. We see a Big Fist Bash in his hand already. That means that we have another mid-attack. We actually have 3 attacks.
That's true.
Even with 2 momentum, and I believe 2 in hand or 3 in hand from George. This is going to be really difficult.
Inventor's Creation.
We could see a throw here.
We can make it a throw, but you can even give it Echo first. Yes,
correct. Echo is the correct sequencing, yes.
And then we can pay for the Echo with that Blood-Sucking Universe that's in our momentum to make sure that the second copy of this, asking for the perfect block from George, and then still saying, hey, I'm going to put you to 1 because of the throw.
Yeah. Well, okay, because the Inventors is only 4 damage, right?
Yes.
Blood-Sucking is 5. Yeah.
But demands
right.
blocks for the first 2
correct.
off of 1 attack card.
Yeah, we're gonna need a low block here. If we partial and then take a throw, that's not going to be enough. We've seen George use the defensive inspiring song to hack the rival check all throughout the top cuts. It's been working out pretty good for him, but I don't know if it's going to be enough here with just a 4 difficulty move that's about to be echoed.
Ooh, this is checking a 3 though, pretty devastating. But also, this is
we're going for
partial.
The double check hack.
The Echo into a throw is just game, even through all the check hacks.
-3 to a check. If we check a 0, we're still going to pass this. He's going to flip it.
With the flip.
You got to try.
It's just on a 4. Commit 4 resources.
However, did you see if we discard the Blood-Sucking? I assume we have one.
Or we have one, right?
Yeah.
There it is. Commits 4 pieces.
Because we weren't milling with 1-man Inferno.
Yeah. Checks. Show us the Blood-Sucking. There it is. Give it throw. Game 1. Breaking serve for Chris Minor.
Turn 3? Was that turn 3?
His turn 3, yes.
Turn 3. You love to see it. Absolutely bare knuckle, white knuckle, I guess I should say. White knuckle, fast-paced action here. And you can see it on both players' faces. They both realize that their luck probably wasn't quite as good as they wanted it to be. And, I would love to know after the game, regardless of who wins, if Chris, recognizes that military airship play or what was going through his head, because we don't have all the details. There might have been a reason why airship was not the call no matter what. But I would love to get the deep analysis from the players in the seat themselves, because if George tells me that he was holding a low and he was praying that airship didn't get committed and he still couldn't pull it off, he still wasn't gifted with a backswing, that's got to be pretty maddening if I'm being honest. So once again, we've seen George lose game 1 going first, but that hasn't stopped him yet.
No, absolutely it has not. George immediately climbed out of top 16 in a similar scenario, having lost game 1 to Zach Richards' Ryu deck, but can easily
in a very similar scenario, and another final round player.
Yes.
Interesting enough. Final round all over these top cuts.
Yeah, that is, of course, another one of our storylines here. Final round versus Let's Talk UVS here in the finals. The first person to take home, a piece of cardboard essentially for these teams since their eras, right?
Since their inception, yeah. Both post MHA, post UniVersus teams. I know that Jacob Messira has been around a little bit longer than MHA, but as an official formalized team with fancy jerseys and such, I believe that was after the MHA boom. So seeing the sideboarding here, what do you think we could see come in from George's side?
On George, I think the biggest thing I have to say is like disarming glance to help stop any sort of hand advantage, as we know that there is draw power happening. I think it's just a good card. Incredible Display is the biggest one to me. Stops any response, right?
Echo, Inventor's Creation,
Yes.
Tension,
Breaker
tokens.
is the biggest form of defense Chris is playing.
Breaker 3, right?
Yeah, and because I know, and I think most people knows if you've been watching Chris play all day today, every time he goes against a Godzilla deck like this, immediately his extra 2 core mishaps are coming in for game 2 and game 3.
Yeah, canceling that City Rampage is a huge deal. If you cancel the City Rampage, your fighting for controls are much more potent, and that was maybe the biggest play of the game in game 1. I talk a lot about how it's hard to improve in UniVersus, if only because a lot of times the most important play of the game happened turns before the end of the game. And the sequencing from George playing around the fighting for control, losing the Vast Hybrid on a City Rampage turn, and then only building out, I have to feel like he was expecting different responses from Chris.
Yeah.
Between games, I believe it has something to do with the way George
sleeve?
sided.
Is it a sleeve?
No, because he pulled out of a sideboard card, right?
Oh, maybe. I don't
We
know.
got some of these in stock. I'll buy
I don't know.
them.
I'm looking over and I see Chris digging through his bag, so he's looking for something.
Yeah, it might be a sleeve. It looked like George was the one suffering from the judge call, though. So
Oh, it's for sure sleeves. Yeah, he went to go
Okay.
grab them. So I like that. Always got to have your backups. It's the small things you don't ever think about in these tournaments.
true.
You got to always have your backup sleeves. Are you not to take away obviously from our match, but our players are fixing.
Yeah, we're
fixing what's
figuring
going
it
on.
out.
Are you a fresh pack of sleeves per event, or are you?
No,
Okay.
no, super no. I intentionally buy my sleeves a week early so I can muck them
break
up.
'em in.
Yeah, break them in, muck them up, get them. I've only played one tournament where I had brand new sleeves, and it was the only tournament where I have gotten a game loss for a irreparable game state. And it's because I went to make a control check, I believe, and my deck slid this way, and I immediately went, oops, and I just grabbed it and put it back together, and that's not the order it was necessarily in. It was just
Sure.
like an instinctive, like, oops, and couldn't guarantee that it was the same deck I started with. So never again. I'm a matte sleeve guy.
Absolutely.
I'm a matte. I feel like they don't stick. That's a big thing for me. I'm terrible at shuffling. I got big uncoordinated hands.
I was wondering too, because this is a separate question, and for anyone new to card games or if you've been around for a little while, the amount of money I spent on bad sleeves before I realized which ones were the good ones was a conversation I was having earlier today with somebody.
Interesting.
How many brands of sleeves? I'm not gonna call any of them out or nothing, but like you bought. We
also can't plug the good ones. They're not sponsored.
These look good. Oh, these don't look good. These feel good. Oh, these are awful. Oh, these stick. Oh, these got dirty.
You know what are good? The shiny Jester sleeves from the Redemption store.
Right, but
not a shameless plug, just genuinely great art sleeves
my
for all the
problem
art sleeves.
is that I want to protect art sleeves.
Double sleeve them.
I do,
Yeah.
but I got tiny hands. I'm not good at jumbling all of those, and also oversleeves to me have the worst problem of breaking them in because they're so slick.
I've never double sleeved. I've never felt the need.
Wow.
But I also, I don't use my Jester art sleeves that often. I only break them out for special occasions, moonlit dinners, things like that. So it's
the hot dates.
Yeah. Well, I got all my dating tips from Keenan Meadows, so
that's good.
Really up to my personal life, up to my game. So
you can tell that the production hasn't been really listening to us because I knew that he was re-sleeving his deck before he even came over here to tell us.
He made a weird motion for breaking a sleeve too. I don't think this.
No, he said re-sleeving.
Oh, it's going in. Okay,
yeah. So
I was just like, what is this? I thought he was doing like the ooh.
You want to open some packs?
Yeah, we could do that.
I mean, what are they going to do?
Do you want to
Stop
open
this?
the Bromley pack again, where he just had all
It's just all
the history's greatest monsters
Hey,
in it?
he said he was going to take some of those. He definitely here. These are our last 4 packs for today, Sam.
Yeah, where's the Sacred Guardians at? I'm taking those home.
I think we only opened the one.
Don't tell Levi. Don't tell Levi. Those are going to be me.
Uh-oh, production's coming our way. Hurry.
Oh, go. Open the bags. Open the bags.
Okay,
before Tim gets here.
Godzilla versus Gigan.
Open the packs. Yeah. No. Don't take the packs. Don't take the packs. Humanity fights on. I got the 13 diff. I got
it all. I got it all.
Oh, finally. I haven't seen it all on any of our packs.
I got a Mecha Godzilla all.
Dude, Humanity fights on's actually sick.
Oh, dude, that's a card.
The art is super sick.
Whoa.
What else do we got? Oh, beam combo. We've opened a lot of beam combos.
Oh, look at this. We finally got it all. It took the last 2 packs.
It took the last game of the event.
Oh, and it was a Final Wars. I also got the Final Wars.
Oh, Final Wars, final pack.
Final pack, Final Wars, final match of
final
the
match.
weekend.
All right. Final round.
That is true.
Little spoiler, maybe.
I wish we had spoilers, but we're doing it live. So.
All right, I think we're good. We're getting the thumbs up. That's got to mean something good. Here we go.
Okay, all
Back
right.
to the gameplay.
Back focusing in game 2 of the finals of the World Championship for 2025. George going first once again. The new game plan. We got to win this one. That's the new game plan.
Yeah. There no more messing around. Are those the same sleeves he had before? Or did he receive the
No,
whole
it is
deck?
a new set of sleeves.
He did not have one spare sleeve, so he had to get a whole new pack. We might see a slippery deck issue.
We've talked about this. A little superstitious. I would never change my sleeves completely going into the finals.
So you gotta have extras. You gotta bring extras with you.
Absolutely.
I've always felt like I like to sleeve my sideboard. I don't always. I definitely have not always done it because it is kind of nice to be able to count it, by like unsleeved in the same box. You don't mix them together by accident. But I usually try to sleeve my sideboard, and for me that has been enough extra sleeves. Right, that's my 10 extra sleeves. Oh, military airship opening again.
Yeah, but we went for a very risky turn 1 build. That fight for truth was on a 4, and if we had failed it, we weren't even going to get this dumbfounded.
It would have been rough, and I think a lot of people probably would have reversed the order. Right, dumbfounded's guaranteed because it ignores progressive.
Just go for the 5,
and then try to play fight for truth on a 5. So yeah, very interesting stuff here.
Another build 5 here though for Chris, and still hasn't even committed Nago. So yeah, we can go for this foresight here.
Okay,
wow.
Get to respond, look at the top if you want. Okay.
Wow, and that last card in our hand is a...
Both players with airships.
Yeah.
6 build from Chris, going second, 1 card in hand. No fighting for control. Fight for truth, getting the Blue Flame Torment. That's a huge early game threat.
Yep, extra piece of information. And like you said, got a couple of those foundations off the top. We've talked about, this card's really been successful for these Godzilla decks.
Short-lived promotion, going to make us a 7-hitter. You know what I'd love to see, Barrett? I think it's it might be the smallest percentage possible, but I would love to see a turn where we play City Rampage. We play an attack, probably Blue Flame Torment, and then we military airship the City Rampage, and we double up on that check bonus.
Oh, that is pretty clutch and interesting. And I don't
definitely not happening this turn though, because we're gonna build 4, hold 3. One of those is a Blue Flame Torment, but we're gonna need the momentum from Finally Awake to be able to access the defensive ability that Blue Flame Torment gets us. Luckily though, we have pass-through walls, which can cancel that military airship, which is so effective in this Nagori Yuki deck because it plays so many echo attacks between Inventor's Creation and Thunder Spear Barrage.
And even just airshipping a 3 difficulty move at all is just so powerful because of being able
it's guaranteed as your first attack, and then it's very easy to play it later as well.
Absolutely. But here is Inventor's Creation immediately copying that blood-sucking universe. Finding it in the discard pile pretty early on is very nice.
Yeah, and we get a little peek at Chris's hand. Koenma's task in hand makes the kind of play I was talking about a little bit weaker, but maybe one you have to do if you want to see Rampage at all.
Yeah, finally free coming in, giving that momentum to George.
Yep.
The 4 damage, of course, coming in, and then
Smashing
there's a smashing stop. Not afraid to block with our attacks here for George. Checks a 6 also on the block.
Yeah,
It is a throw, so we are going to take half.
I'm so curious what the third card in his hand is now, too, because Smash and Stomp is an excellent attack, especially against decks that aren't primed for blocking a lot, which the Nagoriyuki deck isn't bad at, but it's not exactly Rodan. Oh, huge.
I even love seeing the commitment of the character first on passing the strategic meeting, because you know you're playing against a walk the dog deck.
Yeah.
And of course against the character, or Naga doesn't do anything on your opponent's turn. So just using your resources effectively.
So this is where that military airship play I was talking about could actually be massive. City Rampage, because Hacker Extraordinaire is going to flip that airship. I have to believe, unless we're really, really trying to hold the Roman cancel damage reducing ability, I have to imagine Hacker's going to flip that airship.
Incredible. Gets the cancel with the Coenmus task onto the City Rampage, which means that this Blue Flame
actually on a 6.
And we checked a 3 on it, but here is, I think, where that play could come into play. The first enhance, if we use this and pick up the City Rampage, could be exactly what you talked about.
Huge. Now, we could even save it for next turn. You don't necessarily... And is Blue Flame Torment your next trick to play a card? Or is it next trick to play an attack? Okay. So, which technically might be better, depending on what attack you want to follow with and what you check.
It means you could even Godzilla +2 to your next check to have +4 to your check to do a thing. No matter how many cards you'd have to commit to pass the City Rampage, you're going to have a crazy check bonus going into the next attack.
Like, we could see City Rampage on a 6, and then +4 to 6 to a check to play like a determined advance on an 8, you know?
Exactly.
My check +1.
Hacker Extraordinaire going off.
Yep.
Now that card still is frozen.
That's my understanding.
Yeah. Yep, there it is. Perfect. Boom. You can tell this is a judge for our game over here.
Yeah, again, George has been one of the best judges. I've hired him for my own events, you know, for my own community online events. He's always done an amazing job, never heard any complaints. Very, very excited to see him doing well at this event.
Every event he's played in at this rate, I mean, he is absolutely showcasing why he is veteran in the rules and the play of UniVersus to be here again in a finals scenario, and not just any finals, the
grand finals.
Yeah, the highest level of finals you could ever be in for our game. Going for the block here with a 2 low. So it's on an 8, and we checked a 4. So we are going to commit 4 foundations, which is going to enable any walk the dogs that could happen. Ooh, we're making the decision. We're thinking about it. 11 damage is a lot. Do you do it? Do you tap 4 here? No, we're going to let it go. Doesn't matter what you would do. Chris said no.
Doesn't matter what I would do. I'm not him.
Still going to get the 4th committed foundation that would take the extra momentum.
This is why not blocking is fine here, because now we have the double. We have the momentum necessary to use the Roman cancel token again for the damage reducing ability, and we do see the City Rampage coming in on a 6. We did commit the 1. I believe Chris is reading what we were talking about. It's check to play and attack, not to play a card. So that bonus is going to float. Looks like we have +4 to play an attack here now.
Yep.
Which means a 5 diff can't fail. Even if we check a 3, we won't have to commit anything. But
that's determined. You were talking about on an 8. Checks a 9.
You love to see it. We're going to blitz, get a momentum, potentially ready that Master's Pride to get a bonus resource back. Still have the +2 to our checks over the turn. Now we could Godzilla for +4 though.
Yeah,
so this is a 7 mid for 10. You cannot reduce either the speed or the damage below 6.
No Master's Pride response though, as we are going.
Might have missed it. Yeah, might have.
We've gone a little.
We were fiddling with dice with the judge there, so might have just gotten a little excitable.
Or just maybe doesn't need it, right? But this is one of the harder ones to block. Goes for the partial with the foresight, just lets it fail, takes the 10.
Bonus review step.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Chris is knows. Hey, I can dish out 30 remaining to go on a 5, 6, 7, 8. 6,
7, 8.
Yep.
Yep, we had +4 to that check. Blue Flame Torment potentially going to give us some more bonuses to our check. And I think at this point, if you're Chris, you really got to try to pass these Blue Flame Torment checks. You got to hope you check well, and you're going to have to commit foundations. And that's a 4. That's probably not good enough. but he's going to deny the +1 to the check and the bonus damage, and I think that's correct.
The 3, that one has to
That
pass.
one's going to go through.
So this one's going to be for 10 damage. This is the one you have to use that Roman cancel ability on to now, but
only +3 to the check, maybe 5 with Godzilla. Not spending the Godzilla momentum. This might be the last attack, which would be a little strange. However,
if we didn't even use Godzilla here, I think we just have enough, or this is the last attack. There it is on a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He checks a 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, just taps the 2, and that is game 2 explosively from George. We are going to a game 3.
I think he was saving the momentum to use Blue Flame Torment, potentially on the Walk the Dog, which absolutely checkmate scenario for George. Winning game 2, bouncing back, forcing a game 3. But this is it, Barrett Bryant. This is the last game of UniVersus for the 2025 organized play cycle. This game is going to decide our next world champion.
I'm so excited for both of these players.
Yeah, both of these players, it's going to be their first time ever, you know.
Absolutely.
As much as I love Kevin Broberg, spread the love. He's been to the dance before.
Different. He's a goat.
He is the goat of UniVersus.
Whereas, you know, like you say, there's just something so. We did that video earlier, and I was out there with everyone, and we were holding up our champ cards, and you know, I was very blessed.
Yeah, you were involved in that.
To be surrounded with so many personalities and people, and again, like, you know, I'm standing there, and people like Sean O'Brien are out there. You know, Phil Birch holding up 4 cards. You know, and you know, here I am with my 1 character card, and you know,
a lot more of those guys had more cards than I realized. I saw like Tim Keefe had 2 hands.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know, it's, you know, some of them had an asset, some of them had characters and assets, some of them, you know, had multiple pieces, and it's just, you know, to be included. You said the Parthenon, right? Or what did you say? The
Pantheon.
The Pantheon, same thing. Yeah, the Pantheon.
The Parthenon's a little different.
Yeah, you're right. The Pantheon of
UniVersus,
high caliber players that, you know, make it to this exact stage that George and Chris are playing on, and you know, at the end of this, you know, you can only be excited and happy for both of them, regardless of what the outcome would be. But the winner will be able to go home and start getting in the tank, figuring out how they want to solidify themselves in history of UniVersus. And speaking of history, Chris building 5 on game 3 of the finals, going first.
Yeah, 4 guaranteed cards, and then getting the last one-man Inferno, Finally Awake, and Short-Lived Promotion, both powerful cards. Another short-lived, but we can commit Godzilla. It's not doing too much.
On a 4.
We might regret not having the Finally Awake plus momentum to block something on turn 2, because this Nagoriyuki deck can get ramped up very quickly. However, I do understand why we're playing it that way.
Chris Minor has the option to set the pace here. I think Chris has actually played the first attack of every game because of the Vast Hybrid denial of game 1. But here is Inventor's Creation on a 4, checks a 3, but hey, that 3 was a blood-sucking universe.
Yeah, definitely one of the best choices here for Inventor's Creation. Finally Awake, going to give us a momentum on the rival's turn. We're going to flip what are you fighting for, or what do you fight for to draw a card?
Extra cards in hand, they help out, because you know that George is going to be essentially an 8-hander next turn with the double short-lived promotion, so you've kind of got to match that pace defensively, not just offensively.
And I think if you're Chris here, I think one of the mistakes you could make actually is building 2 foundations, because that would allow George to be an 8-hander and then wipe the board.
That is true. I mean, there's one of them already, but we could continue to play, checking pretty poorly on these foundations. That one's going to pass. Build 3. Like you said, going down to 8 foundations in the stage. George just does have that available option.
Yeah, there's 10 in play. I would not be that surprised to see George go for it. I mean, short-lived promotion is the combo, right? It is like that sort of way that you get around the discard 4 liability. I just don't know if it's the right play, but board wipe, I build 4 feels pretty good.
I think it's super dependent a lot of the times. I don't have a Godzilla. I mean, we're pressing it, so I mean there it is.
I mean, all my foundations are blank. All his foundations
Yeah.
are pretty much good. So
yeah, the question is, do we have any of those Fierce Wings in Chris's hand?
that would be a huge factor here. I talked about it before. He had double Fierce Wings. Yeah, Passer Walls getting discards a little interesting here, only because we know about the Breaker 3s and Military Airship being, present in the decks. Another short-lived promotion feels good. Fight for Truth. Oh, my goodness. Another card draw ability. And we saw this before where George didn't necessarily build everything. Now, one thing he has to watch out for is Thunder Spear Barrage is 20 damage if you go handless.
Check.
So luckily
Build
we have the
for-
Fearsome Transformation to potentially draw a card on defense. But if it's a low block, we could just be eating 20 to the face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, builds the full 4 off, and there's also that Fight for Truth as well as the short-lived promotion. So George has a huge turn that could be coming next for him.
We see a 3 difficulty move in hand. It's at the ready. That's a tension move. It could give us a Roman cancel token, but we decide to go for the Imprisoned, and we check a 3 on it. So Nagoriyuki, kind of that, extra resource, not needing to rely on him. It's not going to feel too bad. And that means we're potentially going to get to commit that short-lived promotion or a Fearsome Transformation to deny a little extra hand size for George.
Yeah, I think either of the options are good, but
At the end of Chris's turn, before Imprisoned builds, we're going to activate the Fight for Truth, get that Determined Advance. Love that attack. Can't believe more people don't play it. That thing's absolutely busted.
The question is, do we press the Imprisoned, committing a third of our foundations here?
It's got to be short-lived,
It's
right?
gotta
Yeah.
be.
These are all things that draw a card, and short-lived draws is the best.
Passes back to George.
3 ready foundations. So
Advance in hand.
determined could be a little risky. Here we see the Horrifying. If we discard a foundation, we'll have to commit one of our 2 left, leaving Nagoriyuki pretty vulnerable, but he's at full health.
There it is. We're going to both pitch.
Pitches the at the ray, has
Doesn't
no
have a
block.
Yeah.
Makes perfect. I was gonna comment on how risky it was to hold that and not get the tension, the Roman cancel token, but playing into the Horrifying works out. And here we see
Rampage.
City Rampage. George looking really good here, partner.
Oh, checks an 8.
Checks the 8 on the 7, goes for the blitz, gets the momentum. We have another card draw available to us. We're gonna press that button immediately. 7 mid for 10. We can EX this to push even a +0 block or a 6 check and a 1 out of contention, although that's not what I would do. I would definitely just go for the check bonus here.
Yeah, extra check bonus here tells me that it's probably another high difficulty move. Throwing some blocks
Extra
away.
review. We were never blocking that one. 10 to the dome, down to 22. Walk the dog.
7, 8, 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Taps the 2 for 9. Yeah, it's hard to get past these when your opponent doesn't have any foundations.
Harder than you want it to be, but another stun 1 and +2 to the check from Godzilla means another Walk the Dog would not be that hard to play. And maybe most importantly, another card draw.
This one's for 10. Second one would be for 10. That isn't lethal. We need another move.
Really quick on the meta level, check
Yep.
out the players shuffling their hands, man.
I hate it.
The level of anxiety you got to be in, you got to be at in the grand finals. Yeah. Kibler, eat your heart out.
Yeah, man.
These guys
There it
put
is.
Brian Kibler to shame. Down to 12. No response, no rebuttal from Nagoriyuki. Is
5,
this
7, 8.
the moment, Barrett Bryant? Is this the final string of attacks? We're out of momentum for Godzilla, but we're also out of foundations on the side of Nagoriyuki. Another Walk the Dog would be simply on an 8 with
2,
+2
4,
to the check.
8,
There it is,
5, 6,
7,
7,
8.
and
Are we
there-
going to see a handshake?
any sort of answer? It'd have to be something like a
He
guy's
didn't have to
guidance.
commit Godzilla there, right?
A 4 or 5.
I think that's
It's
what
not
he's
on a
figuring
4.
out.
It's on a 5, right? We only have
Oh, he only has 3
6,
foundations.
7,
We didn't
8,
even
9.
build enough.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's tapped completely out.
What can he do?
There's nothing
What
to
is
do.
in the deck list? I mean, Genkai's is on symbol,
So
but
there it
it's
is. We're waiting.
Everyone's
There's the
clearing-
handshake.
okay.
We're just counting it all. Game 3 and the match to George Rangel, your world champion.
George Rangel enters the pantheon of UniVersus and is your 2025 world champion. From judge table and judge promos to grand champion. I couldn't think of a better player.
Absolutely, man. From finals at Atlanta, getting second place, plays in another
The hero's
tournament.
journey. He had to be denied before he could achieve victory.
Chris Minor there, your second place finish, impeccable performance from him as well.
I mean, what can you do against that Godzilla, man?
Yeah,
the only thing he could have done is build one foundation instead of two. And I think if he keeps the board state on his side, maybe things go his way. But hindsight's 2020. The time is not for critique. The time is for celebration for our newest world champion.
You can see it overwhelmed with the emotions. It's
people lining up to congratulate him.
We'll
Amazing
have to wait
stuff.
our turn, of course. Levi over there already shook his hand. Congratulations for him. Making it all the way.
What an absolute ride, my man. What an absolute ride.
King of the monsters, but today, George is the king of UniVersus.
Godzilla Prime. The man who slayed every other Godzilla in grand finals. Just not enough. He's not like the other girls. He's not like the other Godzillas.
Congratulations.
Now the emotion kicking in.
Very, very well deserved, man. Incredible journey, like you said.
You love to see it.
I do. It's like
Tony Hevia, one of our
head
most common head judges,
co-worker of George, in multiple events.
Absolutely a cohort.
Yeah, you no matter who wins, you can't for George. You have nothing but happiness for everyone involved, because it is again the moment of where you realize I am a part of this game for the rest of eternity, right? George will be your next champion card.
I can't wait to see what he comes up with.
I don't even think George knows what he's going to come up with.
I don't know if he saw about it, but
I'll pick his brain a little bit about it. But
we also see here behind the scenes the final round guys collecting their dude, Chris, congratulating him on an absolutely amazing run. I know from experience, second place doesn't feel good. I know from experience in PTC's online events, even retro events, second place doesn't feel great. But I hope Chris can look back at this as a happy memory, as a step in the journey on the road to hopefully bigger and better things. But we have a special presentation, I believe. I don't know how long it's going to take, Levi.
We haven't got the thumbs up yet.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to filibuster here for a little bit. But let's go back. Let's go back, right? Let's talk about Godzilla, right? Because and also at the end of the story, George. Okay, never mind. We're going to a break. Don't go anywhere though, because
we are going to Levi.
We do have presentation for George, your new world champion, and we are going to have him over here for an interview as well. So don't go anywhere. Yes, congratulations in chat for George Rangel, your new world champion. But don't go anywhere. We will be back with the award
championship presentation.
That's right.
I see you watching me when we're with our friends. It's definitely something in the air. So let's take it from there. 'Cause I know you want it. Afraid to let it show. And I know you need it. Why don't we let it grow, grow, grow?
Divided attention, please. Pretty please. Our 2025 World Championship has finally come to a close. 3 days ago, 114 fighters entered this room on day one. 16 of them proceeded forward, joined by another group of some of our best players around the globe for an epic 52-person day two tournament. But once all that dust settled, it was time for 16 fighters to enter the ring. 16 of UniVersus's best. Dare I say 16 of UniVersus's best of the best fighters prepared to throw down for the ultimate prize in gaming. The ability to immortalize themselves in UniVersus history forever. Finally, after so many grueling rounds of tournament play, we have our answer to that question. Who is the greatest UniVersus fighter of 2025's organized play series? This finals was unpredictable. It was unbelievable. It was a shocking series of twists and turns with so many unexpected elements that even our casters could hardly keep up at times. But the dust has settled, and 2 fighters stand alone at the tippity top of the UniVersus mountain this year. Coming in second place, your finalist for the 2025 UniVersus World Championship, slicing and dicing his foes apart one by one, baring his teeth, and dragging them all into his very own blood-sucking universe, is Chris Miner with Final Round.
Thank you.
Go ahead and hold it open. Go. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Chris, you had an absolutely breathtaking performance today with a character that I don't know that many people had on their radar. Maybe some, but clearly not quite enough. What do you have to say about this tournament performance, and how are you feeling, my friend?
I'm feeling really, really good. I did also not expect to.
A little closer.
I also did not expect to do so well. But I mean, I played really well, and the team did a lot of play testing on the deck, so I think that we did really, really good.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for an absolutely amazing tournament run, and I cannot wait to see what your future UniVersus career holds.
Thank you very much.
But guys, the champion of it all is the one who will now join us on this grand stage. Oh yes. No matter how many foes try and contest them, the king of the monsters and the king of UniVersus cannot be satiated. Stomping, crashing, and most importantly, rampaging his way through the city of Dallas and all of UniVersus, it is your 2025 World Champion, George Rangel, with Let's Talk UVS! George, what you have done today will go down in UniVersus history forever. And I just have one burning question for you. One absolutely searing interrogative that I know that every single person in this room, and probably you, have on your mind right now. We all want to know, aren't you glad you didn't judge this event?
Yes.
Jokes aside, my friend, I have a real question for you now. And what the heck is George Rangel 1 Dot gonna do?
Kill people very fast.
That's what I'm talking about. That's UniVersus right there. Amazing performances, cutthroat tournament play, and an epic victory on an incredibly deserving player. George, I know that you've got a slew of fans, between judges, players, and teams alike, so I'm going to give the floor to you right now to make all the shout-outs that you'd like.
Thank you, everyone. I love all of you UniVersus players. I wish I could know you more, and let's have another wonderful year of UniVersus.
Very, very, very well said, George. Everybody, let's give it up one more time for your world's warrior, George Rangel! Thank you so much, George. Congratulations one more time, and have a safe trip home, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you, George. Really, man. Congratulations, buddy. And that UniVersus is
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Barrett Bryant, and I am joined with your new world champion of the 2025 UniVersus season, George Rangel.
Yep.
I know I don't say it too well, but George, how does it feel? I know you've had a couple minutes since you won it. We saw the overwhelming amount of emotion that came through when you won, because sitting in that chair right in that exact moment, right as it happens, when you let it soak in, how does it feel?
Feels really good.
Yeah.
Feels really the best. I came through day one. I had to climb out, and I'm here. I got there. I ever since day two, I didn't drop a single match.
Yeah.
I went
We
501, and I didn't lose any matches.
First place out of Swiss, had to climb your way through the day one tournament. Of course, we talk about the day one buff. Other previous world champions having to do that, such as Nick Reagan. In this room, you sit up top that throne just like people like him. because you get those extra rounds in. You get that confidence in your deck and in your playability. And let's talk about it. I mean, we know how good you are at the game. Normally, you're wearing the jersey and you're a judge.
Yeah.
Everyone knows you in the community. Everyone respects you and how much you know about the game and how much you love it. And when you do decide to sit down in Atlanta, you still make it to that grand finals chair. Of course, bridesmaid in Atlanta by razor thin margins.
This is true, yeah.
But you ran it completely back, man. The full story.
I was scared, truthfully. I lost game 1, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm second place again. It's over.
We didn't doubt it, though, because in top 16 against Zach Richards,
I also did the same
also
thing.
lost game 1 going first.
Yep.
So we get it. We've all been there. But if there's anyone that could do it, we knew that you could, and you did. All the way down to that game 3 with an incredible board wipe from the Godzilla once per game, building the 4 foundations from the double plus of the hand size. When it was happening, did you believe it? You didn't seem as like, I was talking about the winning like shakes, but you weren't there. You weren't doing that. Did you just know that it was happening, or?
So when he built to get to 10.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to go to 9.
Yeah.
And then he hit 10, and I was like, okay, I have to draw foundations, and I have to draw really good ones, because then he can still kind of kill me on checking the 3 and then echo 3 and then 3 again.
Yeah.
But he built to 10, so I got to blow up, and I got to try again the next turn. I was counting the attacks in my deck and like the percentage of what I can get, how many I can draw. And I drew some pretty good ones, to be fair. So that was really good.
Absolutely.
But it was pretty likely that I was going to hit like 3-ish attack turn, or at least 3 attacks in the next hand.
And the fight for truth, right? Well, you're grabbing
fight for truth. I
yeah.
I had to guarantee at least 1, so I could just review it and don't matter anymore.
And we've been talking about the card all weekend because you're not the only Godzilla deck that was playing it, but you were one playing 2 copies of it. Some of them were playing 1, etc. But it's not even just about it finding an attack off the top or a city rampage or something, but like when you look and you go, oh, those were foundations I was going to draw. I don't want those. And,
you just get rid of it.
Absolutely. So the deck is impeccable. It's not the first time we've seen you play an incredibly well-optimized deck. And the reality is I want to ask you why Godzilla? Because when I was coming into this event, as far as I'm aware, I thought a lot of people were very turned off at wanting to play Godzilla. But most represented character in day 1 of the event and most represented character for day 2 and day 3. So why Godzilla out of any other sort of like aggro style deck that we know that you kind of play these, killing people, kill them fast. Like you said, your champ card's going to eventually do. Why Godzilla?
So the idea of playing Godzilla instead of like Mikasa 4 or anything else, like I don't like playing control. So Mikasa 4 was a good pick. I truthfully think that was a really good pick, no matter like it wasn't top cuts, right? One of them made it. But sometimes you draw 5 and find nothing.
Yep.
And then you draw like 8 more and find nothing again. There's so many times where you check and it's an attack, and then you blow up, draw 2, and there's like foundations.
I want to give you your moment. It's your day. This will forever be the moment that you have solidified yourself in UniVersus history. So I want to give you a moment to shout out anybody that you want to do or talk about anyone that helped you get here, the journey of coming to this event, making the decision, not judging it. Here you are playing in the entirety of it. But how did you get from that point all the way to where you are right now?
So I started in MHA, and I was a really bad player. It just happens. You start off pretty bad sometimes. I worked my way up. I practiced a lot. I had my friend Salvador Serban, who won the Pasadena Regional a couple years ago. We were our own play testers essentially for each other, and he's a really good player. So he rubbed off on me a bit, since I believe he's like one of the best players. Then I decided to judge, since at Nationals last year, I got cooked because I checked like 8 2s or something.
Ugh.
It was bad, but it's okay. I decided to start judging, and as I judged, I learned how the players react, how they move, their decisions. And then I decided if I wanted to go for it. I'm going to have to sit down, crack it down, do the math, learn everything, all the matchups, and understand what to do.
And you showed it off perfectly.
I did. There was many games where it came down to, should I go for it or should I not? and building like 2 or 3 in passing in like Swiss and everywhere. So I had to count a lot today, which is the likelihood of me checking like 3 5s or whatever. And then if I draw this now, do I draw foundation or an attack? If I horrifying, what's the likelihood of drawing an attack or foundation? A lot of it came down to just me vibing it most of the time. But when I had to, and the deck was looking a little small, I would count as much as I can.
Our game's hard.
It's very hard.
And only the best players can win the entire thing. And you are one of those players, George, and you will forever be. So we want to show off some of the prizing here on camera for you. So, George, this is your world champion playmat, 1 of 1. No one will ever take this away from you. And I got to ask you, out of these chromes and these chem etches, as I'm kind of going to go through them, which one is your favorite? This is the Ryu World Warrior chem etch. I'm going to have Levi help me out a little bit as behind the camera. Which one's your favorite? Because these are yours.
It's Ryu.
Ryu, right?
Ryu looks so good.
Now, if only Godzilla came out this year, right? Or this
It was last year, man. I missed.
Yeah. But you use the character to get your stage to victory. Yeah, there's the Jester Lavore. I mean, this is the most sought after character from Critical Role. Just like a lot of people's favorite. The voice actress, of course, as well. Leonardo. This is my favorite turtle, and also my favorite character effect out of all of them. Man, I'm very jealous of this one, actually. He's just one of my favorite characters to play. There it is, Soul Bad Guy from Guilty Gear. Similar play style of how Godzilla plays.
Yeah, he gets to do a lot to his checks and call it a day.
And then this one, I think, obviously, you know, Attack on Titan, as we basically cap it off this year from the set 3, Apocalypse, the Eren Yeager right here. So, I mean, you're the only one that will ever own these. As well as obviously all the other stuff that you've won. You're going to open up some boxes. You're going to have a bunch of extras. All the other play mats he's gained. We're going to hand you a bunch of stuff here. George, before we say bye to everybody across the globe here, cheering you on in the chat, they're going to be able to watch this VOD, obviously, as long as they want. But any last shout-outs for anybody that you want to thank for being here and getting to where you were?
I want to shout out the Let's Talk UVS team. I want to shout out every other team in the game for doing their best, their hardest, for being good sports, for being real people and having genuine connections. I want to shout out my locals, Tommy, my goat. I want to shout out my parents, my mom, my dad, my sisters. I love them all so much. Without them, I wouldn't even be here.
We wouldn't. And I wouldn't be here with you. And that's a gift on its own, being able to sit next to a piece of UniVersus history. So, George, congratulations, man. Thank you so much for everything you do for the community, what you've done for the game in these past few years, and even today, putting on an amazing performance for not just me, but for everybody at home. UniVersus, that's it. 2025 is over officially, and it's time to begin the journey for 2026. And guess who's going to be there right with us? That's right, it's George. You already have your invite for Worlds next year at the 2026 UCS. But that's going to be it for us here. Everybody, thank you so much for watching Round 3, for running our tournament organization, our wonderful judges, our vendors, and UVS Games. Thanks so much for an incredible 2025. But we'll see you in Chicago for the first regional for 2026. Thanks so much.
Great job. Thanks so much.